Well, hello and good evening, everybody. Welcome back here to Maconi Entertainment, and welcome back to the 2026 Friday Night Lights Series season, and welcome to the Shortcut 250 here at Circuit of the Americas. My name is Ron Mullins. Alongside me in the broadcast booth is Kirk Mills with Howie Burrows, working all the cameras and the graphics and the virtual production hauler. Well, Kirk, for the first time this season, we're heading off to a road course, and for the second time in real life, the first time here in this series, we're going to be running at the True to Form Circuit of the Americas layout. This brand new shortened configuration, 2.4 miles, 16 turns, taking out a big chunk of the track used by Formula One, but it was a big change that proved to be very successful. Looking forward to seeing some quite competitive racing here tonight.
Yeah, man, I gotta tell you, this is gonna be showing the folks that can turn right and the folks that can't. Very simply, the drivers will stand out. You'll have a handful up at the front that'll stay there the whole time, and a couple folks in the back that will be struggling, and we'll be checking on the spin out replay at the end of the race on how many cars we have spinning around. But I can tell you, it is a track that terrifies me and some of these NASCAR drivers as well. We like to turn left, not right.
You know, we've already had some terrifying races off the back of two plate races to start this season, and Jacob Simpson was able to grab the victory in the last round of the season just 1 week ago at the Babytona 250. He was able to get the W in that number 22 Mustang, and as a result of that, he is currently your championship points leader. Once again, folks, we are using the chase format here in this series. 12 drivers making it in for the final 9 races when we will decide your 2026 Friday Night Lights Series champion. Here's how it looks at the moment. Jacob Simpson, race winner in the second round, is your points leader right now. Bryson Ball, off the back of a dominant campaign in 2025, is slotted in P2. Eddie Rose, who won the opening race of the season at Daytona, is slotted in third. Joseph McWhorter is in fourth. You can see, so a long way left to go until we have to really start considering who's going to make the chase and who is going to be on the outside looking in come time for the final 9 races of the season. But a lot of action to look forward to here tonight. Just want to quickly run through the other formats of this evening's action. 65 lap long race, which may not seem like a whole lot, but this is a road course, so it's going to be a little bit longer, shall we say. Stage breaks going to come at the end of lap number 20 and lap 42. Random cautions, we'll be talking about that throughout the night as well. And a 21 incident limit, so a little bit higher up than some of the plate races that we have had. But it may be a slightly bigger buffer, Kirk, but we'll have to see if those racers will have to use it. But let's take a look at your starting grid here tonight. Jacob Quill will start this race from the pole position in the number 91 car. He'll be joined on that front row by the Australian of Andrew Dyson, the 41, the road course ringer in the FLCC world, looking to put on a good performance here tonight after some road course wins last season. Bryson Ball, who grabbed his first win in his 2025 campaign here at this track, will start in third. Next is old sparring partner of Adam Benefiel, alongside in the fourth position. Row number 3 will be Bryce Reiner. Next to him will be Lucas Hoitzma, the 5 and the 97 car, making up row number 3. And then looking right behind them on row number 4 will be last week's race winner of Jacob Simpson, alongside Daniel Wiles in the number 88 machine. And then rounding out our top 10 here for tonight's race, get the WD-40 out there real quick. Running at your top 10 will be Mason Lowry alongside Eric Wineland.
Starting in 11th will be the driver of the number 01 Toyota Supra of Casey Graves, and to his outside will be the Chevy Camaro driver for the 46 car, Jeremy B. Brown. Starting in 13th tonight will be the driver of the Chevy Camaro, Joseph McWhorter, in the 73 car, and to their outside, the Toyota Supra 71 car of Hunter Truel. Starting in 15th, Devin Medeiros in the 20 car will be starting in 15th. 16th to his outside will be the Chevy Camaro of Drew Prohl, driving that 08 car. Starting in 17th tonight will be Edward Shearer Jr. in the 94. And to his outside will be Jesse Winslow in the 59 car. Starting in 19th, Seth Foudy will be driving that cool numbered 77 car, and to their outside will be Ryan Von Hinschel in the 2 car.
Yeah, starting this race in 21st is going to be Evan Mesnard. Yeah, sorry about that. He's going to be starting alongside Tyler W. Hunter, making up row number 11. Row 12 will consist of Cliff Mullins in the number 44 machine. He'll be alongside Kyle Amon in the 17 car. Right behind them, it's going to be Cody Bird starting this race in 25th in the number 15 machine, next to Tim Phillips in that Camaro starting in 26th. P27 will go to Nathaniel Pollard at the start of this race. He'll be alongside the number 31 machine of Jared Grodzitsky. And then rounding out our top 30 here tonight will be Tanner Marty next to William Owens.
Starting in 31st will be the driver, the number 74, Brian Wertman. Their outside will be the driver, the number 10, starting 32nd, Matthew Boston Wheeler. Starting in 33rd, driver, the number 92, Brandon Huntsinger. And starting in 34th, driver of the 56, it's Noah Woods. Starting in 35th is going to be the driver of the 95, Wesley Napier. And to their outside will be the driver of the number 35, Michael Mesnard, starting 36th. 37th will be Kevin Zosiak in the 37 car. To their outside will be the driver of the number 50, Paul Dinino. Dinino, I believe it is, in the 50. That's cool. All right, there we go. Starting 39th, Daniel Wallen comes back in that 23 car. And to their outside will be Steve Benjamin in the 53 car.
Yeah, and we were able to get that up and rolling before we get this start here, Kirk. We're expecting some flames. We're expecting a wild race. This track and the reconfiguration, this is the first year that we've gone to see this track on iRacing. They recently refreshed and added in this layout. I personally really enjoyed it, and the racing action that we saw in real life last year on this slightly altered layout. So I'm going to pass the buck off to you and ask what sort of racing we're going to see on this kind of a bull ring in an odd sense in the road course world. It is quite short at 2.5 miles.
Well, you say it's short. I can't walk that far without being out of breath, that's for sure. What I can't tell you is I'm looking up here at the front of this field, and you kind of got a two-car dominance here. Am I back? Am I good? I think I'm alive.
Yep, we got you back, Kirk.
Sorry about that. My bad. No, that was weird. No, we're good. But I can tell you, these guys up here at the front of the field, Jacob Quill and Andrew Dyson, these guys are fast. They are blazing fast. Last season in the full-length Cup Challenge, Andrew Dyson won, I believe, every single road course race the entire year last year. If you beat Andrew Dyson, it's like beating Earnhardt at beating and banging going to the front on a left turn racetrack. Trying to beat Dyson is extremely difficult, and I think it's going to be fun to watch and see if they're going to be able to do it tonight. But the front of this field's really going to be really cautious of turn 1. Right now, they're going through that section. People will miss the braking point and just dive straight in there, and multiple cars will get taken out. You never know what could really happen here as we're riding on board right now with that 41 of Dyson there. He's going to have a day where he's going to see a clean windshield most of the time, unless he's passing lappers, I think, if he's able to keep the car underneath him.
Yeah, so not the best qualifying performance in the world from him. However, he is super duper quick. In fact, was able to grab his one and only win last season here. Actually, he was able to grab 2 wins. Apologies. He grabbed 1 road course win, though, in the race at Portland. Now, we won't be heading off to Portland here in this season's calendar, but he has shown, of course, a heck of a lot of pace on these road courses. So Dyson going to be a driver that we have to keep our eyes on. Have to consider that number 63 machine of Bryson Hicksonball as well. He's going to be super, super quick, but one driver that I have eyeballed as maybe a slight sleeper pick is Edward Scherer Jr. He's slotted in 17th come time for the drop of the green flag in a few moments' time. Was actually able to grab the win on the streets of Chicago last season here in this series. That went on to be his one and only win during the 2025 campaign. But that street circuit, despite the fact that we're running on a purpose-built motorsports venue right now, I think there can be some comparisons made. I think we'll be elaborating on that throughout the night, kind of talking about this racetrack and its many quirks and features compared to the other road courses that we have got. But he brought up a great point there, Kirk. Turn 1, that's going to be feisty.
Yeah, I got to tell you right now, we got a situation where some of the lead cars that came down to qualify really well, for example, the 22 car, last week's winner, Jacob Simpson, he's sitting on pit road right now. Same thing with the 77 of Seth Foudy. He's starting 19th. He's sitting on pit road. Ryan Von Henschel, he's qualified 20th. He's sitting on pit road. Got the 10 car also there on pit road. That's Matthew Boston Wheeler. And then the 23 of Daniel Llewellyn. Those are all your drivers that will be starting from the pits for this race, man. I mean, we're getting excited. We're about to get the green flag, about to get this thing underway. It's going to be interesting to see how those lap cars are going to be able to get back through. Luckily, there are cautions, so it's not going to be a terrible idea to do this. You just lose all the chance at stage points to start things off. Here we go from Circuit of the Americas, man. I tell you what, I'm not a fan of turning right, but take a look. First couple corners, they're left turns. That gets me a little excited. Here we go. That 91 car, Jacob Quill, through that restart zone. Boogity, boogity, boogity. Let's go turn right, boys.
Oh, as you can see, some drivers chasing each other's tails already downtown to turn number 1. Look at Dyson going for the dive on Jacob Quill. We were expecting some sense, and sense we get. Dyson jumping up to that top spot, dicing it out at the moment with Quill. They're still side by side as they head their way down the hill, all through the S's right up at now. Dyson gonna jump out in front. Quill, mega sideways snap through the turn. He's gonna stack them up. Look at Adam Benefiel and Lucas Hoitzma now trying to get involved as a driver spinning off the track big time there. That's Brown.
Yeah, golly, he's backing up now. I think he's going to be okay. A little bit of front-end damage, not much for that 46 car, but he is back on the racetrack, keeping it going. This is the new part of that track. These guys going down, they cut them in half, but they're just trying to get situated all throughout this field. There's a lot of cars all over the place trying to survive right now. There's going to be the most contact on these opening laps, but up front, I'm surprised by how fast Dyson was able to get to the lead. He really dove it in deep on that rookie in the 91 and was able to get through.
Yeah, that is sheer confidence that you can see there. Confident in the braking zone. You do have a steady uphill climb as you head your way off in through turn number 1 here, so that does help you out. But as you crest the hill, the track really plateaus. Maybe seeing some lockups there throughout the night, but Dyson having the conviction and the stones are going to move done there at the start of this race. He's going to look to lead lap 1 over Jacob Quill in P2. Adam Benefiel, who despite the fact that he's more of an oval guy, has even said outright that he does not like road courses, he is pretty quick at them. Last season during the playoffs was able to grab the win at the Charlotte Roval. Now we won't be heading off to the Roval here this year, but keep an eye on him, currently running in 3rd at the moment. That will be very fascinating indeed.
Yeah, he started in 5 races last year. His average finish at the road courses, 5th. This guy knows what he's doing whenever he's out there. So I think Benefiel has a good shot to be able to do it. It just depends on whether or not he's able to keep up. And these front 2 guys have problems, because I'll tell you right now, I don't think he's faster than the top 2 guys. Again, I'm going to reiterate, that 41 car is going to be so hard to beat tonight. You have to legit be in the right place at the right time to somehow beat Dyson. He's the guy who's just knows these road courses better than anybody I've ever seen. I've watched a lot of racing in my time, and I've seen a lot of drivers go through road course racing. Of course, Boris said, a few other guys that just knew what they were doing on the road courses. But the moment that we come out here and, you know, in the sim world, I don't think there's hardly anybody I think that can beat him. I mean, he's leading this thing now. He's taking advantage of it. And I don't know anybody who has anything to do with this stuff. I'd love to see it, but you look at this battle right now with the 42 car, Mason Lowry there. He's trying to battle with the 71 of Hunter Truel on the inside. He's kind of stuck in a really bad position, but the 94 is also trying to get through with Devin Medeiros. Slight contact, but they're still keeping it going.
Yeah, Sherry, your winner on the streets of Chicago last year, looking to scythe his way through the running order, already making up a couple of places after starting in 17th, but he finds himself in the midst of a hornet's nest right now. Looking a little bit farther up the road, the final driver inside the top 10, that is Joseph McWhorter, your reigning champion here in Friday Night Lights. Keep an eye on him in that number 73 car, see what he can do here tonight. But Andrew Dyson currently leading, just set the quick time as well, fast lap of the race for him, building that advantage to himself and Jacob Quill. 1.2, nearly 1.5 seconds right now. Quill starting to fall into the crutches of Adam Benefiel, although Benefiel has built a margin between himself and Lucas Hoitzma. It was a smooth start up at the front, which, considering some of the sends that we saw, is a bit surprising, but there may have been a little bit of squirreliness and chaos farther behind. We did see Llewellyn there in pit lane revving the ever-loving crap out of his engine, and you can just see the flames spitting out. Eventually, that engine's going to respond in kind by blowing itself up. There is a moment that we saw from Jeremy Brown sliding off the circuit, heading all through the S's, just stacking up there.
Just slight mistake is all it is, really, when you're running behind like this. And it's the first couple laps, you got cold tires. It's normal. That checkup from the 20 really didn't caught him off by surprise. He ran into the back of him and lost it trying to avoid hitting him. But that's it, as we're now looking on screen at Cliff Mullins in the 22, who started from the pits, albeit, contact 46. Oh, they go around.
Yeah, so a 3-car incident heading off into the final turn. Nothing that Mullins or Simpson could have done to avoid that, as maybe seeing red in the midst of some hard battling and that unfortunate moment that started off this race. Just a double doink heading off into turn number 1, and not a good rejoin there from Simpson. Your reigning race winner and championship points leader may very well find himself at the risk of a penalty because of that.
Yeah, we just got a pass for position on the racetrack. Bryce Renier just went by Bryson Hicksonball, and he has now taken over the 5th place spot on the racetrack. Got it done in that final corner, was able to get by, and now he has his sights set for Lucas Hoitzman there in the 97, who's really loose. But take a look at this gap these guys have. You can see that's Renier, that's 5th place, and looking a little bit further forward. Of course, you got the 97 of last year's champion, Lucas Hoitzma, able to get the job done. And then up in front of him, the 83, Adam Benefiel, is all over the back bumper of that 91 of Jacob Quill. I think that the 83 might have something on the long run for that 91 car. He's keeping up with him.
Yeah, he's keeping him honest at the current moment. Even though Dyson is driving off into the sunset, Quill and Benefiel are keeping themselves honest. Certainly Benefiel is keeping Quill honest. As you can see, the gap is just about minuscule between those racers as they head their way off through the tight and twisty end of the lap, really the second half of the lap. See, I'm so used to the full-length Formula 1 layouts that I just see that as the final sector, even though it's pretty much just half of this layout. This is one of the more twistier turns in the F1 world, the full layout with 20 corners. Here, though, on the shortened configuration, we still have a lot of turns to have to consider. I'm going to go out on a limb here, Kirk, and say, looking through the rest of this series calendar here in 2026, this road course probably has the most amount of turns out of any of the ones that we'll be visiting throughout this season. It really does not give these racers any single point of rest.
I think that maybe San Diego, if we have San Diego, I don't think we will, but they're going to be racing at San Diego in real life, and I think it might have slightly more corners. But that's the only thing that comes to mind. I think now it's all about just trying to keep the car underneath you, and you kind of laid your bed now. If you're like a driver like the 20 car of Devin Medeiros you see on your screen with that Liberty University sponsorship right there, there's not much you can do other than try to keep the car underneath you and hope cars in front of you make mistakes, because you have your speed. You already shown that, right now, that you might not have winning pace, but you might have top 10 pace of a couple guys in front of you make mistakes and get knocked out. And the biggest part I'm scared of for this entire race is coming up right here. Take a look at this part of the racetrack if we can. It's that place with the tire barrier. I am terrified of this section of the racetrack because I really think eventually someone's going to hit that tire barrier and it ain't going to look pretty.
Yeah, I think in the Cup Series we saw that happen last year, and if that happens in the sim, that is going to be a game ender, because unlike real life with the tire bundles, I mean, you do have to hit them quite a lot to move them. They can be moved. In iRacing, meanwhile, that is pretty much just a neutron star on the inside, so I think you bring up a fantastic point there, Kirk. That is going to be a real choke point for these competitors from the drop of the green all the way through to the fall of the checkered. That is heading your way out of the S's where that takes place.
Yeah, I gotta tell you, I mean, the thing is, they've already had practice here. They know what it's like to race here over the last couple years since they've been starting to go to the Circuit of the Americas. They know how to drive it. However, that section of the track is new. It's not normal. And also that runoff these guys are doing, they're going off track. For years, we've been stuck to the constraint where we couldn't go over those rumble strips or get a penalty, but iRacing finally wised up and made NASCAR's version absolutely fine. Go crazy. As long as you're not cut. Oh, right here, the 08 car. Oh, holy cow. Thought he was going to kill that car in front. Got loose, spun out. But again, let's take a look and see how that happened. Drew Prohl just overcorrected hard into the right. He just wanted to do a burnout and turn the last corner of the racetrack, I guess.
Off through turn 16 and trying to rejoin without any further incident. You can see that front end dipping down big time as we jump back to live action. See these racers heading their way off through the S's. Have you caught some more drama out there on circuit, Kirk?
Yeah, I'm noticing something from the top leaders here that is kind of unique to them in a certain part of the racetrack. And I'm noticing that when they go through that new section I was talking about there, that they really light up the rears. Like they are sliding the rear tires a lot. And I'll show you what I'm talking about here in about maybe 25 seconds when they catch up to the back of the track. If we could zoom out at the back part of the race car, I mean, or at least be able to see the car in its whole view, something like this. We'll see if we're able to see it a couple more corners down. It's back where that tire is going into that corner. Seeing these guys really just put a lot of slide into the rear wheels. I'll tell you where that happens here in a second, but watch Dyson. He's coming to complete lap number 6, going into lap number 7 right now. And remember, we're racing lap 20 for this stage, so we got a ways to go before they even have stage. And only lap 6. Feels like we've been here all day. That 41 car, not quite yet, looks normal. No sliding tires anywhere. But where it happens is coming up here in just a couple corners. You're going to see this from all the front runners. They're going to be laying down a patch in a certain section right up here. Wait for it. Right up here. And around this section is where it's going to happen. So they go through here. They miss this little barrier here. And then they start sliding on the exit of this corner. Right? They hit that. And you can see it's laying down tire marks. The entire field there is actually laying down tire marks. Every single car that goes through, Rainier, Hickson Ball, they all are putting down, I guess, a slide in that one corner. If you take a look at it, you'll see it. It's pretty wild.
Yeah, and you can see those racers just a little bit jittery heading their way out of the turn as we take a look at side-by-side racing. This was Bryce Reiner and Lucas Hoytsma duking it as. That was Zhang up the hill into turn number 1. Reiner tried to get the move done, but Hoytsma just able to defend off through turn number 2. But he brought up a good point there, Kirk, talking about those drivers trying to put a little bit of rubber down on the road, getting the back end of the car out a little bit sideways just to lay some rubber down. That shortcut is not only a little bit awkward, not only very new, it's a part of this racetrack that just is not used. There is a West configuration that has existed long before here at Circuit of the Americas, really ever since the track was first constructed back in 2012 when it opened for that year's Formula One Grand Prix. It was in the old F1 games where they actually included that West configuration, had a weird clunky chicane thrown in there. It was far different than the version that we are using right now. That was tacked on, well, not to say tacked on, but it was created specifically for these stock cars. So that is something that just does not get used by any other racing series, whether it be Formula One. They're certainly not using it. IndyCar, when they raced here, they pretty much use the same track limits hanging out of what is turn number 15 here, and in the case that they just didn't use any track limits. There you can see it. There's the old version of the West configuration, and there is the layout that we are using here. Just it is an odd addition to this racetrack, and it is so dirty heading off through there because it's never used. It's usually just parking.
Yeah, they didn't want to have that long. So, oh, we got a car around. William Owens sitting the wrong way on the exit of the final corner. 30 car. Live. Let's take a look at it. 30 car going through the final corner. You see the 77 there. Oh, 30 car just got loose, and the 44 clipped them and sent them around.
Yeah, miscue of lines trying to get the momentum rolling, heading onto that start-finish straightaway, and disaster breaking out there. You do have to consider that these are analog race cars. We always talk about the next-gen cars having the sequential 5-speed transmissions, and we're going to be talking about that a lot come time for FLCC tomorrow night here on Maconi Entertainment. But here in these Xfinity... here in these O'Reilly cars, I caught myself there. That's an extra $1 put into the jar there. But these cars, they've still got the old 4-speed gearbox. They've got the 4-speed transmission. You got to worry about wheel hopping. These cars are not designed to go on road courses. Compare them to their Cup counterparts, where they're a bit more sophisticated. One of the problems that those cars seem to have in real life is that they're too good on the road courses compared to their Gen 6 predecessors. These cars, though, they don't like driving around on a road course. They have suspension and handling characteristics on the road that could probably best be compared to a Formula One car in the 1950s, just with a lot more safety. So these drivers have a handful trying to hustle around this racetrack, even down to the braking zones, trying not to wheel hop and just overshoot it into the turns.
Trying to keep an eye here on all the cars on the racetrack. Their tires are starting to get worn in. You're starting to see them get a little squirrely all over the racetrack. Tires have worn in. They got, if you were abusing them the first 9 laps, those tires are now on fire. Those tires just don't want to stick. They turn into rubbery, real slick, and that's easy to make contact that way. And we're looking right now at Edward Shearer Jr. racing right here at the back of the field. Right now running in that 94 car, currently sitting in 12th position, trying to hang on to the spot. As we look throughout the rest of the field, this is like some of the closest racing we have throughout the rest of the pack.
Yeah, so still some battles going on out there on the circuit. Drivers trying to find their footing here. When you mentioned that this track is still a little bit alien to these competitors, Kirk, even with the amount of practice that they have ran, it is a tacked-on addition with the other shortcut that we are running here. And it may not seem like a huge change, but 2 turns around a racetrack can make a world of difference. It alters a lot. So these competitors still trying to find their footing in this race, still find their footing with this track. I think Nathaniel Pollard may have just gone overtaken by Tyler Hunter. That battle for P16 at the moment just flared up. Pollard, I gotta say, a very nice looking race car there as well, number 16. We've got some good paint schemes out here on the track, week in and week out. We always love to see it, as Howie and the production truck professing their love for the number 5, and that's a good looking paint scheme. I am a fan. It kind of gives the vibes of like a Slurpee or an Icy or something like that. You got the cherry red mixed with like that blue raspberry blue.
Looks like you put lipstick on the front tires. Like what? I disagree. I don't necessarily think that's necessarily the coolest thing I've ever seen, but there you go. I don't like that single red, but I mean blue, yeah.
See, I'm a fan of the red, white, and blue cars.
I'm American too, buddy.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, we outnumber Howie
58
2-1
car
here in the booth.
Sorry, 56 car just hit the wall pretty dang hard going through that new section, and now the 46 and the 22 are door banging right behind him.
Ooh.
Oh, there he goes into the corner, spins him around. 46 got spun out around.
Oh, and that was a shame. Right as we were thinking that things had settled down, the chaos breaks out as we can see the 56 just scraping wide. That was heading off into the 6 and 7 section, and there you can see the stack up right behind. Simpson already having a bad race of 46, already having a bad race too, and 2 drivers seeing red into the turn.
I told you it was going to happen. I saw it coming from a country mile away. These 2 door bang there. I told you about it. Then they went down the straight, and that 46 ain't happy about it. However, 22, yeah, I don't know what that was, because it didn't look like 22 was intentionally trying to turn him. 46 looked like he wanted to turn himself.
Yeah, I gotta say, and this is us just looking at that just seems like 2 drivers not very happy about how the way their race has gone, which, hey, if they're crashing out to that degree, I have some bad news for them. We're just barely a 1/6 of the way, not even a full 1/6 of the way through this race, so there's still a lot of time left for them, and losing their heads at this point is not the right strategy, I think it is fair to say. Getting halfway through this first stage, though, and we've already seen drivers crash out ever so slightly.
I'm going through the rest of this field, and I just got to say, it's interesting to me where if one car is slightly slower than the cars behind them, they start packing up. Just like right here. I think that there's a group here that are just really trying to get by that 94 or maybe the 71, but right out in front of them, there's a side-by-side battle. There's Wineland and McWhorter. These guys battled for a championship last season. McWhorter ended up coming away with it, and now they're racing on the racetrack right here for position.
Yeah, and Wineland put together a fantastic campaign right towards the end of the 2025 season. Made his way into the playoffs. It was close, though, on the points. Very, very close indeed. But once those playoffs started, hit the ground running with a win at Bristol. So he's going to be a driver that I think we need to keep tabs on throughout this campaign as well. Relying on consistency, though, so you can't just turn up the wick incredibly at the end. But certainly a driver that will potentially be a tour de force throughout this season. Lap 12 that we're pushing right now. We jump to the action a little bit farther up the road. Bryce Reiner and that somewhat divisive number 5 scheme currently getting dealt with. That's Brian Wortman in the number 74 car on the inside, lap car that they dealt with efficiently, heading off through the short chute. This is a very interesting 3-car battle that we have got here, Kirk, because you got Reiner in that 5 machine who's certainly shown some speed and most certainly some conviction. We saw him battling with Lucas Hoytsma, who's still right in front of him not too long ago. And then you've got Hicksonball right in tow. You've got your reigning full-length Cup Challenge champion, and you've got the driver who, under this format, would have been your 2025 Friday Night Lights champion.
Yeah, you got a lot of good drivers right here. I just got to tell you, I find it interesting as all heck that these 3 just seem to be stuck together. 2 of them are teammates, so it kind of makes sense for 2 of them, but that 97 I don't believe is associated necessarily with that team. So, but I love this thing run off. I'm glad they let us run the cars offline now, because that needed to be done for so long. And now that they can, I think it actually makes it so much easier on these guys to not want to wreck the car.
Yeah, and that's kind of been a broad change with a lot of the other NASCAR road courses. It's going to happen with Watkins Glen as well.
Oh, really?
The Cup layout there. That is going to be festive heading off through the bus stop. I can tell you that with confidence. Yeah, actually, I think I've gotten the opportunity to see that already. This is something that Howie will enjoy in the production truck. It was not relating to the bus stop on the back half of the circuit, but it was turn 1 at Watkins Glen. Covering a Formula Ford race. It was not the officials that we used to broadcast here on Maconi Entertainment. It was a Sunday League event, and a driver ended up running so wide and nearly hit the safer barrier on the outside. They were using the track limits that much. But breaking away from the track limits discussion, we have had a swaparoo. Bryce Reiner has been able to get past Lucas Hoytsma, but Bryce Reiner having to hold on to it big time, a sideways, slideways moment at a turn number 10, and they are side by side fending off now into turn number 12. Reiner trying to hold on to P4. Hoytsma looking to jump back up to P4, and Hicksonball looking to stick his nose into the fight as well.
Well, I mean, now I'm thinking about Watkins Glen too much, knowing that they're going to be able to dive into turn 1 and forget going off course, and like we might get ourselves a McDowell crash. You know, that's awesome. I'm always a fan of seeing cars go flying into that catch fence in that section. I think it's kind of a funny look, but I don't know. iRacing's kind of wild like that.
Was it McDowell? I'm trying to remember.
It was, yeah. Michael McDowell. Yep, it was McDowell. Rudiman.
Yeah, Rudiman. Yeah, I was thinking it was David Rudiman. McDowell had some pretty bad hits as well. Last year, he had a pretty bad one in the second tier series, formerly Xfinity.
Austin Hill 3. Oh, man. Yep, sorry. I have opinions about that particular fellow, but yeah, I got to give him props. This last Daytona run, he dominated. And him and his whole dang team, I never seen anything like it in person. It was wild.
Yeah, certainly a quick driver on the plate tracks. Just don't put him on a road course at Watkins Glen when he's battling side by side with Michael McDowell. And for the love of God, keep him away from Indianapolis and away from Eric Almirola. Looking at that, Reiner running a little bit deep at the end of the backstretch, heading off into turn number 9. Now, turn 9 in the braking zone for it is usually quite abrupt on the full layout, considering you've got about a mile of straightaway leading into it. Here, though, it is slightly less abrupt, but still a very sharp turn. That in turn number 1, very sharp. Turn 16 as well. Probably some of the sharper turns that you have here, which does make sense. You know, this track was not designed for stock cars, but it has seen a wide variety of use. Originally designed by Herman Tilke to be a part of the F1 calendar, which it has been since 2012. Stock cars have raced here between the trucks, O'Reilly's, and Cup Series. Sports cars race here in the form of IMSA and WEC competition, World Endurance Championship competition, and MotoGP even runs here as well in the motorcycles on the two-wheel side of things. So this track is very hard to try and manage, but it does have a lot of diverse racing.
Now you gotta slow down for a second. I am a normal race car NASCAR fan. 90% of the French you just spoke, I have no idea what any of that is. You said I know MotoGP. I seen that on the YouTubes.
So the Drive to Survive, like that show that they have on Netflix.
Oh yeah, I heard about that.
Yeah, F1 races here, and they got some other. They got some other cars. You know, Daytona 24. That series, their European counterpart ran here a couple of years ago as well. So and IndyCar as well, Indy 500. That's you'll have to see that.
Take a look.
Side by side racing. Jacob Quill, Benefiel. Yeah, they've been battling out for about a half a lap now. Quill able to withstand the challenge off through turn number 12, but Benefiel still all over him like a bear rug. They go single file all through this long, never-ending right-hander sweeper of 13 and 14, but certainly Benefiel rattling the cage of Quill a lot and maybe potentially feeling like he's getting held up slightly.
You know, it might be fun and games and all, but I gotta tell you right now, these two are still 6 seconds behind the leader. That tells you how fast he is compared to how, hold on. Oh no, yeah, that was 8. It. Yeah. It's just wild to me how far that these guys can go.
It's 8.5 seconds now. That is unbelievable. As Benefiel going for the dive into turn number 1. Quill going to keep the momentum rolling on the outside, though. Going to hold on to the inside line and approach all through turn 2. But Benefiel really showing the pace to just be a massive... he'll be a Quill in the side for Jacob Quill. Sorry, that was a softball. I had to swing at that.
50 cars. They're never mind. They're back marker. I thought they were running up front for a second. Disregard. We're good. Some guys are just getting out of the way. The leader's being respectful.
Yeah. So bringing up those blue flags and giving Sebastian Vettel some flashbacks there. That joke, I think, will land with one person here in this broadcast booth as Benefiel going for the dive, punch out, hole shot, run into turn number 2, and he's got to jump his way up in a second. That is the way to get it done off into turn number 10. Pardon me, P2 for him right now as he heads his way out of turn 12. I wasn't expecting that move for sure. Quill starting to struggle potentially as he's now been sent back behind. Thankfully, we are getting to the end of this first stage, so the bleeding may be stopping quite quickly as it's a 1.5 second margin between himself and Bryce Reiner in 4th.
I think I got that joke about the blue flag. Isn't that song that guy Vettel sang or something?
Yeah. There we go. Yeah, it's some fantastic radio from his temper tantrum season in 2016 that driving for Ferrari will do that to a man. But yeah, that was I could go off on F1 and see. I'm the road course guy here on Maconi. That's my motif. I drove in karts long enough. I know how to handle the lefts and the rights.
Well, I'll tell you what. I'm glad that we're both on here. It's like you're putting a how do I put this? Let's see. You're trying to put a watermelon and a cantaloupe in the same room here.
See, I could best compare it to, like, you're here just trying to do your business. Meanwhile, you're in here with somebody who just escaped out of a psych ward.
Wait, when did you get out? What?
Nathaniel Pollard looking to split the stage as he's just come down pit lane. Number 16 driver was running a little bit farther towards the back, had some chaos break out around him, but now breaking down and away into the pit lane. We are getting to the end of the stage, so we do have to consider some pit stops here soon.
Dude, we're coming to the end of the dang stage. It couldn't come soon enough for everybody other than Dyson. Dyson's like, let's take green to the end, guys. Don't worry about it. Let's just keep going. Yeah, but no, they're not going to. It's so unfortunate, man. These stage cautions caused me so much grief, but
At
I
least we
say
aren't
one of the
running on
best.
Road America anymore.
No, I like Road America. That was a good
Oh.
racetrack. It's America. I like it.
Yeah, I love Road America. Just the stage yellows on that. I was able to
Oh, it was
grow
nice.
gray beard hair by the time I was done with all that. As just saw in the corner of my eye, Hoytsma pulled down pit lane. He comes in for the top 5. That's a pretty big swing for this race to see a driver that far up within points range at the end of this stage to come down pit lane.
Yeah, we got a lot of cars coming down pit road, actually, when you think about it. I'm looking around and I'm seeing the 71, 100 Truel coming down. I think that it's going to start happening more and more before the end of the stage, so that way they could flip the stage for sure. But looking right here, it seems like it's one of those moments that I just can't seem to understand. Whenever you decide you want to flip the stage, give up stage points. If it's a part-time deal, definitely do it. But some folks definitely don't want to. They just want to be able to stay up front, lead the whole thing, and have no problems at all. There's no real tire advantage unless you're close to each other, but right now, these top spot guys, I think we could expect to see them come down. Maybe. We'll see.
Yeah, we'll have to find out whether they try and pull off a swap-a-roo here. I gotta say, though, Kirk, I'll be honest, I am with you. I would rather see these racers just try and get the stage points. With this brand new chase format, it just seems like a better call to try and prioritize those stage points. But again, very good reason why I'm behind a microphone instead of behind the wheel. Maybe my logic is just getting thrown completely asunder. But one battle that we do have out here on the racetrack, one that I kind of downplayed whether or not it was going to happen, is a 95 slow. That's hanging out of turn number 1. I don't have a good feeling about this, Kirk. I'll be honest. I think it had to have been some sort of contact, or at the very least a single car spin.
95 going into T1. This is a story as old as time. Going to lock up the rears and just go bye-bye or over. No, he didn't. What did he do? Oh, he went over the rumbles. Oh, no, the rumbles.
Yeah, the rumble strips. Unfortunate moment and a sideways snap heading out of the turn. Gonna Baja blast the tires on those race cars. Yeah, I saw the branding and I had to. That was a softball. I had to swing at that one as well. But I was gonna bring this up. I wasn't expecting this battle between the number 91 and the 5 at the end of this. However, we're getting it. Jacob Quill, ever since he got overtaken by Adam Benefiel, we haven't really seen the same pace out of that machine. Bryce Reiner, meanwhile, has turned up the wick. As you can see, he is all over the back of him, thinks about going for the move, heading off at the end of that small little crackle down run into turn number 9, off at a 10 right now. We saw Benefiel get a move done on Quill in similar fashion through this section of the racetrack. Reiner not going to go for it. As we are nearing the end of the stage, the white flag will be in the air for Andrew Dyson up at the front to try and cap off what has been a dominant opening portion of this race, with the battling for third still intense.
I don't think anything's going to change up front. That 41 car, he's staying out. He decides he wants to keep staying out on the racetrack. They closed pit road, so they won't come back down, that's for sure.
Yes, that pit lane closed right now. Anybody who comes down pit lane is going to get sent off into the shadow realm. So not a good call for there. You can't win the race if you've been sent off into the 7th circle of hell. Seeing some drivers run wide, though, hang out of the turn. That may split this battle up a little bit. That's a lapped car all sideways heading out of the turn. Quill and Reiner able to overtake that lapped car as they've now taken the stage white flag. Will we see a move from Reiner into turn number 1? So easy to try and go for a move off into here, but very hard to make it work. You can see, though, Quill trying to cover off the over-under actually stalled him out quite a lot heading out of the turn. Now Reiner fighting back to the inside off through turn number 2. Side by side in through the S's are going to go. Quill and Reiner door to door and wheel to wheel. Quill going to have the advantage, but Reiner fighting back big time. He'll be stuck on the outside, though, as they head their way off through the short chute. Will he be able to make it work? He will not. He scrapes the wall, and now look at Bryson Hicks' ball. He's going to smell blood in the water there too.
Yeah, that sucks for the 5. Good Lord, he's pushing a little too hard for a stage win, I think. It's not even a stage win. He's trying to get third in the stage, so it's just one measly point here. And now he's under fire from Ball right behind him. I don't know if that was necessarily the right idea to get some damage. Obviously, it was not the plan, but still, mistakes happen as we look up front again. I think Dyson's coming through the last set of corners. He's going to end up winning this dang stage here in just a moment.
Yeah, and Andrew Dyson, who's driven off into the sunset, is going to complete off an opening stage of dominance for him. He'll win stage number 1. Looking at the battling for the final few spots in the points, though, Edward Scherer Jr., Eric Wineland, and Casey Graves, the driver battling it out right now. Devin Medeiros is right there to pounce as well. So this is going to be some close quarter stuff, waiting for these drivers to come across the line, because a reminder, we don't see that yellow until the top 10 come across the stripe. So once these drivers come across the line in a few moments time, that will be the end officially of stage number 1. Graves looks like he'll be able to hold on to P10 unless he goes for a move on Wineland, who's just too far away from Edward Scherer Jr. to think about a P8 run here at the very end. So looks like we're about to see this stage break come on right now, and there it is as they head their way out of the final turn. Medeiros going so deep off in there, he nearly ended up in Louisiana. There is going to be the stage checkered as Aaron from you as well, Kirk. Did the 41 do something awesome? Did he do a little bit of SVG style drifting on that lap?
No, not necessarily. No. If we take a look here on your screen, this is going to be your finishing positions here for the stage. They get points from first place getting 10, 10th getting 1. You can take a look at that at the end of the race here. But I can tell you right now, we got to take a look at the 41 car going through that final corner. That 41 car right before the stage end, if we can get the 41 going through the final corner, I just want to show something that is, I think, the most respectful thing I've ever seen. Yeah, we're going to try and get it there. A little bit further back. A little bit further back. Let's see. Yes, this is good. Yeah, this is good. If we can look at it from maybe not from high above. Actually, yeah, high above fine. I think we can. As long as this is not live, then we're good. It's rather close to where he actually is live, though. That's kind of funny. Good. So take a look right here. When he goes through this final corner, I think. Let's see if he does it. Yeah. Look at what he's doing. He slowed down intentionally to let these lap cars get their laps back. He gave the lappers their laps back because he knows that, first off, they're not going to catch him. Why would you make someone else's race worse when you can make it better and it doesn't affect you? I think that 41 did something that was some of the most kind racing I've ever seen. You don't see that anymore. You used to see that back in the 80s. At the end, whenever a crash would happen, the caution doesn't come out immediately. So they'd race back to the line in NASCAR. But what they would do is, if it's like a road course, the leader, if they had a big gap, would slow down and let lappers go. Because why would they hold them up? That's just something being rude. And for years, that was how it was until people started to get really, really competitive. But Andrew Dyson doing that, I think, is the most respectful thing I've seen all day. And I got to give him props. That was the nicest thing.
Yeah, that was a sportsman move right there. That's something that
extremely.
Yeah, that's that is very, very much so a nice call for him to do. And as he kind of said, they're not probably going to be able to catch him anyways. So may as well just give them what I like to call a lap of hope. I think is the only way that we can sum that up. But now
can we talk to him after the pit stop? I'd love to talk to Andrew and ask him about that after the pit stop. Well, we're going to see when he heads in, of course. But once he's on his way out, we'll talk to him. What do you say?
Yeah, I think that sounds like a very good idea. And I will say, talking about Andrew Dyson and his road course prowess, of course, it goes without saying over on the FLCC side of things, Kirk, you're able to cover him throughout a vast majority of last season over on that side of things here on the channel. And very quick road course racer. His one road course win here, though, pretty much right in the middle. It was the second to last road course race of the season at Portland. Started that race at the tail end of the field and just climbed his way up. Ended up winning the race and then got a penalty that sent him to the back once more, and then he sided his way through the running order once again. So very quick racer and a comfortable racer behind the wheel of the number 41 car. That's a big thing on these road courses. It's brought up a lot. I'm a big IndyCar guy, and it's always brought up whenever drivers, of course this year over on the IndyCar side of things, we've got some European rookies, Dennis Hauger and Mick Schumacher, the other son of 7-time F1 champion Michael, kind of talking about how they can get comfortable with the ovals. on the stock car side of things, you got to worry about getting comfortable on the road courses because it is a whole different kettle of fish as we see the field now coming down pit lane. Certainly, Dyson has been the most comfortable on these road courses and will be the Pied Piper for the field, making their first pit stops for the most part.
Yeah, here we go. That Sunoco sign looks pretty. There we go. We got rid of it. That's better. That 83, though. Adam Benefield. Very happy to see how he's doing. He did not have the second fastest lap time out there for qualifying, but he gets into his pit stall no issues. This entire front group decides that they want to get down and get quick. But gotta say, Benefield, it's not normal to see a driver who may not have the fastest qualifying laps come back and pass him later on. He's good at saving his stuff, and I will reiterate that forever. 41 wins the race off pit road, but Hixenbaugh, take a look at that. Trying to make some moves out and get second off the pit road. That's pretty cool, but take a look up front. Hunter Truel and Lucas Hoytsma are going to assume the lead.
Yeah, so those two drivers that decide to split the stage, we'll see if they run it to the distance here in stage number 2. Of course, this will come to an end on lap 40. But Andrew Dyson, certainly the standout star throughout the night, and we'll now be able to drag him into the broadcast booth. Kirk, I'll pass the mic back off to you to speak to our stage 1 winner.
Yeah, Andrew Dyson, holy cow, man. You decided that you were by far one of the best drivers I've ever seen on a road course. And not to mention, I saw that gesture at the end of your lap. Did you let those lap cars by on purpose?
Yeah, I did, man. I saw that, hey, boys, going by the way. I saw that it was the last lap, and I kind of was going through the last few corners when I saw it, and I went, oh, that's why Kevin was sort of, not really happy to just let me go. So I sort of twigged what was happening and thought, yeah, I best I let them go, because if I had realised earlier, I just wouldn't have passed them to begin with. That was the last lap of the stage there.
I gotta say, man, that was very kind. I mean, you don't see that in racing hardly ever anymore, and I just think that's really cool of you, Dyson. And I gotta ask you, man, you're leading this thing. Did you spill your macchiato yet? How you doing up front?
Oh, funny you say. Something fell off my rig as we were racing around there. I think I had.
Oh no!
I don't know, man. I don't know what it was. I have to have a look. But no, nothing spilled. Did not spill my macchiato. Everything's all going pretty good. Man, Jacob was really fast in qualifying there, and practice actually. So when I had a shot into turn 1, I sort of decided I need to take it right then and there. From that point on, it looks like he had a bit of a battle with Adam. I don't know for sure. You have to ask him, but yeah, pace was good. Was able to maintain the lead for the rest of the stage there. But second stage, another story. We'll see how we go.
All right, Andrew, you got to pass only, looks like 3 cars this time to be able to get through this, maybe 4, we'll see. But I got to ask you then, I mean, when you come out here, did you have any practice this week before coming in?
I had a little bit of practice, so early last week sometime, just to try and see what exactly the setup was like. I had a pretty big week last week though, so not too many laps. Most of my laps today. But we've raced this track plenty of times. I've raced this track a lot. You can sort of get a handle on it pretty quickly. But when you got boys in your corner like Benefield, Dustin Hall, Bryson Hixenbaugh, and excellent painters making your car look real fast like Kyle Lamon, man, you're always going to come out here and do well, I think, when you got boys like that in your corner.
Yeah, I agree, man. But you got yourself a pretty good hot rod there. Reminds me of that movie that we were just talking about a little bit prior. What was that? Days of Thunder looking. I like it. Now, I got to say, man, thanks for coming up and talking to us, but I guarantee you, we'll probably talk to you a couple more times before the end of this thing's over. And even when this thing's over, I think we'll talk to you. I mean, your speed's just there. All right, keep the car underneath you, and we wish you the best of luck, Andrew.
Thank you, boys.
And you were in the Conti chat, right? Ace Moneymaker?
Ace Moneymaker, yeah.
All right, we'll get you over there.
And that right there was your stage 1 winner, Andrew Dyson, looking to keep the same form as we now face what is going to be, I feel like it's going to be a hectic second stage here, Kirk. I'll be honest. Stage 1, everybody kind of finding their footing, still a somewhat new track to these racers. Now, though, that they're feeling a bit more comfortable, a bit more confident mainly, I think we're maybe going to see some drivers start to turn up that wick of aggression. Certainly with some aging tires for your top 3 runners, could get very hectic on this restart.
Not too aged, just 6 laps. Ain't too shabby if you ask me. 7 for Nathaniel Pollard, though. Yeah, I think he might be like a rock, unfortunately. He might be sinking to the bottom of the pit here. But these top 2 guys, maybe even Truel even might be in the same spot. But I think Hoytsma might be able to hang on to it. We've seen him have success on these road courses. But as for everybody else, I mean, survival. Try to avoid any incident with these 3 guys. That's going to be how you got to be driving here. Of course, all the cars that are on your same strategy. I don't know, man. It's one of those races where you kind of know how things are going to go, and something wild would have to jump out at you to surprise you. I don't know, but these 3 up here are going to make it interesting.
Yeah, so some drivers throwing some odd curveballs their competitors' ways. Gonna be interesting, especially that run down into turn number 1. You know, I made a joke before we went live here on this broadcast tonight, folks, full transparency, joking about turn number 1 and the many odd things that go down there. It's a bottleneck. You go from pretty much like 5 lanes wide down to only 2 on the exit of the turn. It's something that I feel like it gets done a lot on road course design nowadays, where it's almost designed willfully to try and cause chaos, but still it's an inviting spot to get a move done. And here in these NASCAR stock cars, you can beat and bang around a lot. That's the motif, that's the beauty of racing these NASCAR O'Reilly's cars. You can bring the thunder, bring that level of aggression up. As long as you don't run head on into the fence, you could still very well grab the W. But to get the second stage up and rolling, already saw Hunter Truel running wide, hang out of the final turn, coming to take the green. But we are back to racing with Lucas Hoytsma driving off into the sunset. Up at the front, Dyson trying to scythe his way through the running order. Hicksenball going for the move off into turn number 1. And look at that, he's followed by Joseph McWhorter. You can see a lot of drivers trying to find ways to get past one another. Whoa. Look at that, the old boot scoot boogie there from Dyson getting into the back of Pollard into 2.
Yeah, he got stuck behind that 16 car, couldn't go anywhere at all. And because of that, he's stuck back mired in traffic. He's got a ways to go. He's faster than the guys in front, no doubt about it. But looking as they go through these corners here, not seeing too many accidents. Everybody seems to have gotten single file, but not saying it won't happen. It could, absolutely. And we got a wreck in that little area there.
That's Jacob Simpson, the number 22 car at the epicenter of all that. Huge damage to the front end of his car. Bumper frilled, hood popped up. And what's been a pretty bad night for your reigning race winner, Current Championship points leader, has gone even worse. And let's take a look at this to stack them up, heading into turn number 6, into 7 here. This heavy braking zone. Drivers slowing down behind and just nowhere to go, getting pile driven into the barrier. Kirk, you called it. We finally got our strike.
I told you it was going to happen, man. That tire barrier is dangerous, man. It's going to kill somebody. I mean, like I think it's greater. I don't like that at all, man. But up front, this lead battle is really going to be the entertaining stuff right now. Lucas Hoytsma got the lead, but the battle for second still heating on. 7,100 Truel holding his ground really well. Bryson Hicksenball sitting third. And then he got, of course, McWhorter sitting there in fourth. And Dyson has worked his way up to fifth, I believe. Wait, no, rewind. I might be a little bit behind. There we go.
Oh, something else I just saw in the corner of my eye as the racing continues out there on the racetrack. Jacob Simpson got disqualified. He's picked up a DQ, so he's out of it. So we are very much so probably going to be leaving this race with a brand new championship points leader, Lucas Hoytsma, your current race leader, though. He's got Bryson Hicksenball now behind him right now with Hunter Truel running in third. Andrew Dyson has been able to maintain the same position, but this is a tricky spot for him. You know, he started this race from the front row. He hasn't really had to worry about a driver running right in front of him all throughout the night. So this is a bit of a venture off into the unknown for him as we take a look at the move that put Hicksenball into second. You can see Hunter Truel right up in front, running a little bit wide, heading out of turn number 15 through into 16 now. Very sharp turn. If you get the run coming out of here, you could be golden for a move heading downtown up the hill into turn 1. Hicksenball was trying to get this move done, and look at the dive, look at the send. That is how you get it done. And Hicksenball really notwithstanding too much of a test there was Hunter Truel. I think he decided to, not say lay down per se, but certainly made it as easy as could be. He knows when to pick and choose his fights.
Yeah, I'm also kind of looking at a car that really made a big mistake here. The 83 of Adam Benefiel had to restart back in 21st place. He was involved in that little stack up with the 22 car. He made his way around, no damage, but he went from 22nd on that lap, and he passed a bunch of cars, so right now he's sitting 14th. And that's saying something on these road courses. He's making his way forward, trying to gain back the spots he's lost.
Oh, as Adam Benefiel saying the quick time right as Bryson Hicksonball was able to grab it. So drivers really sent some quick times. I said that these racers had used the first stage as a bit of an extended practice session with a bit more at stake just to try and settle into a groove, and that they most certainly have. So Benefiel bringing the thunder. He's looking to bounce back. We saw him battling with Jared Gorgensky a little bit earlier on here in this stint. So he's currently running in lucky spot P13 at the moment, holding on to the quick time for now. But we jump back to the battling up at the front, and Hoytsma and Hicksonball now covered by a half a second. They're heading their way off through the second half, the twistier second half of the lap right now. I think Hicksonball's going to once again eyeball a move heading downtown into 1, although I thought he was going to go for it off into 12.
I don't think so. I think I'm looking at it here, and I just got to say, man, that this is getting to the point where I'm like getting antsy up front. That 97, he's going to be under fire any second from Hicksonball, but I still think if you listen closely, if you really listen closely and look in the back part of that corner, you'll see that other green car we just talked to. I think it's coming.
I can hear the Jaws theme begin to play, creeping in, get himself involved into this battle. So Andrew Dyson going to be looming, just ominously looming in the background. So when Hicksonball tries to attack Lucas Hoytsma, he's going to have to do it quick. He's going to have to do it quick and concise. No lollygagging around, to invoke a little bit of 1930s radio diction. If Hicksonball starts to get involved in the fight and they start to tussle it out a little bit, Dyson's right behind is just going to say, hey, thank you very much, boys. I'll take that, and just blow their doors off a few moments after the fact. Even right now, you can see that gap really getting brought down. He's within a second of your race leader now. He has closed up that gap big time. Hoytsma, Hicksonball, Dyson, a pretty stacked top three, but you know what? It's that 41 car that's definitely going to be the one to keep note of.
Man, this is going to be fun. I always like it when this type of thing happens where you got two cars that are, you know, one's on a different strategy, one that's pretty quick, and the other one here sitting third is fastest car on the racetrack. At 63, though, oh, man, he really wants to catch a 97. I have not seen these top two drive the wheels off like this all race. I'm glad to see it, but I think Dyson likes to see it too because this is the first time he's actually had some competition.
Oh, and now comes the test as Hoytsma hops the berm a little bit, runs wide through the second to last turn. That's going to put him under pressure from Hicksonball, but Hicksonball can't go for the move. You don't go for a move off into the final turn. That is asking for trouble, asking for a disaster, but here we go. Your top three covered by a half a second as they come across a stripe to start lap number 29. Hoytsma over Hicksonball. Hicksonball going to go for the dive, heading off into turn number 1. This is a spot to do it, but look at Dyson. He is there to pounce, still side by side. I thought he was going to stick a 3 wide and try and go for the over-under. He's going to let these two battle, give them a couple of moments to say, hey, look at me, I am here and I can do whatever I want. Kind of like a cat playing with the mouse right before he takes a nice little nibble out of him. Dyson right there. Hicksonball thought about going for it. He is going to go for it, heading off into turn number 6 and 7. That's a gutsy spot to go for it, but Hicksonball trying to run away with it. He hasn't been able to get the move done as here comes Dyson running off the track, nearly running into the dirt. He's going to be stuck on the outside through turn number 9. He's going to now stick his nose into the saddle, but he gave him a shot. He spun him out. 63. Stacking up through the turn at ends in tears for Hicksonball.
Oh, man, I don't know. 41 obviously did not mean to do that. You know, I mean, the way that the 63 entered the corner made that happen. Look, he's like 41's way wide, 63 dove it in deeper. He's in a lower spot. He turned in sooner. It was inevitable.
It was the bump, it was the curb on the inside, the anti-cut curb of doom. It can wreck a Formula One car suspension, but even here in these NASCAR stock cars, it's running into trouble. Let's take a look at another view of this from Hicksonball's perspective. Goes for the move on Hoytsma. You can see how close he was to the inside, so close. Hop the berm, hit the curb on the inside. I've heard an esteemed colleague of mine here in the American road racing sphere, a certain Tom O'Gorman, say that it's the calzone curves on the inside. They're going to burn your tongue if you take too big of a bite out of them. And unfortunately, that's exactly what happened to Hicksonball. Took too big of a bite of that inside curb, heading all through turn number 9. It's cost him dearly, and it did also cost Andrew Dyson, as Lucas Hoytsman now leading by 3 seconds.
Now, did that do any damage to the front bumper of the 41? I don't see any damage on the front end of that 41, but I'm sure he's in a different mindset now. Before he was like playing with his a cat playing with his food, right? You saw that earlier. We were talking about that. But now he's got 3 seconds to make up. He's got to turn on the jets. He's got to go. And so I think he's going to do that. I think he's going to get down to maybe 2 seconds, 2.5 seconds maybe at this lap. We'll see. At 41 looks pretty quick. I'm seeing him not making too many mistakes right now.
Yeah, this is well-composed racing for, frankly, your entire top 3. A small little blubble there from Bryson Hicksonball, to invent a new word. A small little mix-up there, and he has fallen into the crutches of Joseph McWhorter. But that battle was so intense. As he said at the time, Kirk, it was only a matter of time before something like that took place. These racers are feeling a heck of a lot of pressure here. Round number 3, so they're not feeling it in terms of the chase or any sort of championship aspirations, although you certainly want to get a good result here. It's just a matter of, I'm going to have to run it through. I'm pretty sure the longest straightaway that we've got here on this racetrack is the start-finish stretch. And let's face it, that's not too long either. This is a race that's probably going to be one of the more mentally taxing road courses for these competitors all season long.
Yeah, I was saying earlier about Andrew Dyson, he cut it down to 2.5 seconds that time. Exactly. He's got that speed. He's going to get there eventually. But right now, I can tell you, I'm looking through the rest of the field. There's a new driver I have not talked about all day today, and I want to bring him up. Driver the 88, Daniel Wiles. This guy is kind of new. He's a rookie in this series. We didn't see him at all last season. I don't remember racing him, and I don't really know him that well. But I can tell you right now, it's obvious he's got good friends and good places running for Team Conti Sim Performance. And that paint scheme, I really enjoy watching, too. I kind of like that 88 look. But again, I think this guy is going to be someone to be reckoned with if he's able to continue all season. He's obviously somebody who can compete at a high level. He's right now competing with last season's champion. So I think that 88 car might be someone to watch.
Yeah, and certainly throughout this season, with the wide amount of racetracks that we will be visiting between now and the end of the campaign at Homestead, Miami, all the way in November, great opportunities for racers, even just to sneak in, a small little, just a one win. You can kind of put yourself on the map with a single win, even if it doesn't get followed up with any other major results. If you can pop in, get the W, you're certainly going to leave your mark for sure, especially on that week's broadcast. I want to thank all of you for tuning into the action right now. It's a small little break away from that, but with that painfully obvious shilling out of the way, last season we saw a lot of one-off winners throughout this season. It was Bryce Reiner, Tommy Gossett, Eric Wineland, Lars Chenoweth, Blake Kluot, Jonathan Delaney, Edward Scherer Jr., Austin Evie, Cameron Stone, Robert Miller, Lucas Hoytsma, Johnny Avila, Ryan Struck, Daniel Llewellyn. 13 one-off winners throughout the entirety of last season. And bearing in mind, folks, it's a 33-race season, so nearly over a third of the entire season was comprised of one-time race winners. Some of them from the full-length Cup Challenge side of things, others just popping in for a one-off, others who were running throughout the entirety of last season was just able to grab a single win. But this is kind of the two between the FLC and this is the one where you can have those one-off visits into victory lane, and doesn't matter if it's a one-off or not, the champagne is still going to taste sweet.
Yeah, one-off wins. I wish I had one of them last season. Finished second twice. Really sad year for me, but Up front, again, I think that 41's now catching the back bumper, but you're looking at the 83 of Adam Benefield. Remember, he restarted back outside the top 20. He's now all the way up to 7th, looking to get 6th. I think Adam Benefield is making his way back to the front. He's going to be someone that's quick and probably a run for 2nd place, if not 1st. We'll see how it goes. But again, Dyson now closed that gap even further. I think he's now within half a second of the 97 up front.
So this is, again, very, very intense here as we look at the margins and look at how it has evolved. Dyson, he's not taking small little nibbles. He is taking chunks out of that gap. Half a second now, fending out a little bit, though, as they negotiate some of the turns around this circuit. Dyson now applying that pressure, laying it on as thick as icing on top of a wedding cake, and he's going to be there sooner rather than later. And I think, unlike the last time when drama broke out with himself and Bryson Extamball, I don't think Andrew Dyson is going to look to turn his head. But I do want to give a little bit of love to the other side of this fight. Hoytsma, who was on that alternate strategy, came down pit lane right towards the end of the first stage, running on some older tires. He's put together a very solid drive here. You know, we talk about him winning last season's Cup Championship, but he put on some good performances here in the O'Reilly Series here on the Friday Night Lights side of things. Was able to get the win at Talladega. Did cross the line in first at Bristol, but some penalties after the race stripped him of that win. A very quick driver in these O'Reilly cars, so keep an eye on him throughout the season to be a force to be reckoned with, as the gap is it's non-existent at this point. Andrew Dyson is right on his back bumper, heading our way off through 13 and 14. I think Dyson's going to once again eyeball a move heading off into turn number 1 that has seemed to be his happy hunting ground so far, and if he can make that work, he'll take that opportunity, grab that torch, and just walk away with it. Look at him, sideways, slideways, heading into the braking zone, into the final turn here. Dyson running that number 41 machine at 10/10, and you can see that gap closing down 0.3 of a second. It's actually ballooning up a little bit. Did not get a good run hang out of the final turn, but he's going to look for it down the inside. Well, it's a little bit of a wheel hop through there. Could see that car a bit wiggly through the braking zone, but he was able to hold on to the top spot, at least for now.
Man, this guy just seems to be perfect on his corners. I mean, I'm looking on his onboard right now, and he's hitting every mark. I hate to say it, man, but just whenever I see it, I gotta call it. This guy's just another level.
Yeah, so the Aussie, the Thunder from down under, able to bring the Thunder here in these races. Currently holding on to P2, but he wants that top spot, and I don't think he's going to stop at any opportunity to try and grab it. Will he go for the move heading off into turn number 10? So I'm running wide out of 9. Not going to work out well for him, but we have still got a fantastic swath of overtaking opportunities left for him to try and get that spot. I still think it's going to be a move into turn number 1. Just needs to capitalize, get the good run heading out of that final turn to make it work. It didn't work for him last time by, but I think Dyson may be learning from his mistakes and starting to utilize that tire advantage a little bit more. He still has it. He needs to keep that in mind and try and grasp the opportunity.
Man, I'm just kind of surprised how well Hoytsma's holding on here. I mean, not really. He's a really dang good driver, no doubt about it. It's just that from what we saw in the first stage, that Dyson car was 6 seconds ahead of the next best guy. So knowing what happened, I mean, it makes me question if there was any sort of damage to that back bumper, the front bumper, the 41 car causing this.
Yes, I wonder if it's just Dyson having that damage or whether Lucas Hoytsma enjoying the opportunity to have a clean racetrack in front of him, and even with that tire disadvantage, able to hold on to that top spot and defend even more. Dyson, I don't think, is fighting this too hard, though. He's keeping him at an arm's reach at all times, and that's great. But he's not really fighting it at the moment. You know, he's been able to get that stage 1 win. He's not running for points here in this series, so he's not going to worry about it. I wonder, here, Kirk. I wonder if he's maybe going to try and flip the stage and trying to eyeball how to get to the end as quickly as he can. We already have had one driver come down pit lane. That's Drew Prohl coming against the pit. Perfect time for me to raise that there. But I wonder if Dyson is there's got to be some extra play going on here, because we were thinking that he was going to attack on Hoytsma 3 laps ago, then 2 laps ago, then 1 lap ago, and we're still expecting it, but he's not really taking the opportunity.
Benefield. Take a look at Benefield. He's up to 4th. He went from back in the back 20s all the way to 4th. He's catching up to them. He's 11 seconds behind this battle, but still in a great position to gain more, as these two are just rolling away from third place of Bryson Hickson. Oh, he got in the grass. Hang on to it, pal.
Yeah, running off into the dirt, heading down into the final turn. The both of them with a back end Zed kicking it out with the handbrake. Hoytsma maybe going to feel the pressure as Dyson closer than he ever has been before. He goes for the dive into turn number 1, pouncing at the right time, and Dyson now going to seize the opportunity to jump into the race lead. Hoytsma going to look to fight back down the hill into turn number 2 through the S's right now, but I don't think it'll be enough. Dyson seized the opportunity, and I think Hoytsma was just feeling too much of the pressure. As soon as that back end stepped out, heading into the final turn, I had a feeling that Dyson was able to kind of make it work. They both had a sideways kick out, but it's certainly a heck of a lot worse for Hoytsma than it was for Dyson, and that's why he's been able to jump into the race lead.
Kind of saw that one coming from a mile away. But now, I think the thing that you want to watch is we're coming to the end of the stage here very shortly. That's first and foremost, is we're coming down to the end of that thing, and it's important to make sure that you're prepared for it, since it ends on lap 40. So lap 40 is when we're going to see that stage, and then we got a short period before we get to the end of the race, only 15 laps really. 25 laps.
Yes, as we continue to see the action out here on the racetrack, we're doing an onboard with Cody Bird. Saw Dirt in the YouTube chat there. J.R. Gregory sends your welcome. Hope you enjoy it on the American Muscle Series. That is a reference that only he will get. Actually, Howie may get it as well.
No idea.
Colleague and coworker there. But either way, we're running on board with Cody Bird, and perfect time to do it as well when he had that sideways, slideways moment heading out of the final turn. He's got a handful on his hands right now. That is very, very tough handling race car, but it looks like he's coping with the pressure brilliantly out there on the racetrack, running in 28th. This is one of those road courses where it is a matter of survival of the fittest as well. This is one that tests the nerves and the patience of a competitor.
Patience is the word, that's for sure. Good Lord, getting to the end of this thing. On board with Cody Bird, that's where I tend to run whenever I was on these road course races. I mean, I only averaged 9th on my 5 starts, but running around like this is always difficult because you're just trying to catch the car. You're trying to keep up with this. We got pit stops.
You know, Woods' latest racer to come down pit lane. We'll see if anybody else tries to follow in suit. Now, we do have to consider what sort of wild strategies these competitors may try and play out here at the end. We got that 25-lap final stage to make it to the checkered flag. It's just a matter of time. These drivers do have 4 tire sets allotted to them, so we'll have to consider that. As never mind the strategy talk. We got this very interesting fight. Tyler W. Hunter in the number 48 car, running in front of Eric Wineland in the 21 machine. Those two got very close for comfort as they headed their way through the short chute into 8, and nearly ended in disaster for the both of them. They were still all over each other like the plastic on Grandma's couch. And keeping our eye on them, because I think some fisticuffs may break out in this fight if that small little blip heading out of 8 is anything to say.
Yeah, I gotta tell you right now, both these guys are my buddies. I really like these two. They're really cool guys. Tyler Hunter and, of course, Eric Wineland. I ran with Wineland almost all season last year, and that 48 was very helpful for me whenever I was driving. But I gotta say now, these two being stuck together like this, they're just having fun. They enjoy this type of thing. They like racing, and obviously it's not about where they finish for them. It's just about having fun behind a wheel. And I kind of like that. That's the kind of mentality I wish I had a lot more of the time.
Yeah, having a good time, having some fun out there on the racetrack, and giving some good battles. I remember when I would go to my local indoor kart track, I would always tell my dad, "Hey, I'm not worried about getting a good lap time. I'm worried about having a fun time overtaking people." That was always so fun, battling, having some overtakes, and putting yourself in some dangerous situations that if my life insurance provider saw me get involved in, they probably would have canceled my policy lickety split. We have seen some more drivers come down pit lane. Saw Devin Medeiros, the leader of those racers, just a few moments ago. Casey Graves also followed in CDC Nathaniel Pollard, who swapped the first stage, looking to do the same here in the second, and Grodzicki in the number 31 machine doing the same there as well. Now, I'm curious here, Kirk. Do you think this racetrack is kind of conducive to racers doing a bit more with the strategy compared to other road courses? I think it is, because you do have some good overtaking spots, but easiest place to try and gain a position, or most certainly gain some time, is down that very long pit lane, as Hoytsma, now the latest to come into the pits as well.
Yeah, I mean, you got to try something different. However, pit road is now closed. So anybody's last chance to go on pit road is over. Hoytsma was the last one to make it down. He got really lucky. He was able to do that. Now he's going to stay out with fresh tires, and he might have a say for Andrew Dyson, but it just depends on how many people came down as well. Other than that, I got to say, we also lost a couple good drivers that were out here winning, or at least leading the race for a little while up front. Our pole center, Jacob Quill, he's out of the race. After that wreck in turn 1, he gave up. His car had no damage. He got a little bit of a rear end, but no damage visibly. And 41 and 91 just decided up and quit tonight.
I have a theory. I have a theory about that, Kirk. I'll be honest. I think his give a damn broke.
Oh no! Oh, that's so sad.
What a shame. Oh, those.
I need a jar to catch all my tears. That's it.
That's why I have a sham wow to clear my tears.
Oh, what happened to Lowry here? Oh God. Hang on. What happened? Looks fine.
Turn 9.
Fine.
Oh.
He's on
inside
ice
curb
rink.
strikes again.
Oh, he's fine. He's fine. Just get back going. He's good. Car's still running. He's fine.
Nothing
But these two still
there.
paddling. I like saying this a lot. They're just having fun.
Yeah, look at Eric Wineland hitting the curb on the inside, turn number 10, pretty much treating that number 21 machine like a monster truck. Hey, it is a Mustang, and Mustang and monster trucks start with the same letter, so I guess if it works, it works. But right now, still trying to find a way to get past that number 48 Supra right up in front of him, getting to the end of this stage as well as Andrew Dyson looking to try and get done. As interesting point to race here. Right behind these drivers is Lucas Hoytsma. Shows you how dominant those front two are. Even after coming down pit lane, he's still going to walk away with an stage point. Only one, but still a stage point nonetheless.
Not yet. He could probably pass Tyler Hunter and Eric Wineland if he's quick. Again, yeah, I know we're going into the final lap of the stage here. Dyson's going through the last handful of corners right now. He just got through the S's and now went to that little kink there, heading down to secondary backstreet. I don't even know what they call these numbers. Oh, 48 Tyler Hunter's around.
Oh, and we jinxed it right away. A sideways slide out of one, gonna cost him a spot in the points. Let's take a look at it here, just goosing up the throttle. Oh, it'll cost him a spot in the stage points. That's what matters here. Yeah,
he'll still
works.
get it. I think you still get a stage point. I think he got back going in time, maybe.
Yeah, he's in 12th at the moment, so not going to happen there. Unfortunate to see that at least coming here out of stage number 2. Very easy. We've seen a lot of racers have a sideways slide like that already, but Andrew Dyson about to win the second stage here tonight. Slowed down a decent amount. I wonder if he's doing exactly what he did at the end of stage number 1, letting some racers by the other true sportsman behavior that we saw to start off the night. Not this time. Just taking it easy, bringing it to the green and white checkers, which I believe he has done now. Looking at a battle that Hunter Truel finds himself in the midst of right now. Edward Scherer Jr. running right in front. Scherer Jr., a driver, started this race in 17th, going to end off the second stage in 5th. Of course, different strategies. Hoytsma came down pit lane, but pretty cool to see that there as It's the side-by-side racing as they came across the stripe between Trill and and McCorder is finally just realizing what that race car says. Hunter Trill with the "Your logo here" text on the hood. That is perfect.
Oh no, let me look at this dang hood. Take a look at your finishing results here for the second stage here. You can see, hey, take a look who got, oh, maybe it's not updated yet, is it? I don't think it is. Maybe, oh, Tyler Hunter. Hey, there you go. Got 10th.
Oh.
Okay, he got a stage point. Told you it was coming. It's because he's good. I like him. All right, anyway, what I was saying is that he's trying to advertise that 71 car for sponsorship. That's all he was doing.
Yeah, I would assume, but yeah, it's still pretty funny to see that nonetheless. So we're gonna maybe do a little bit of investigative journalism here. This does have permutations when it comes to the points, the championship points here in this race. Your points leader heading into this round of the championship, Jacob Simpson, picked up that disqualification a little bit earlier on. We mentioned the 21x limit, and considering that he already had, we'd say 3 to 4 bits of contact, huge damage, and that's how he did it. Parking the bus, hang off into turn number 10, some major damage on that race car, affecting the handling quite a lot. And you know, if there's a way to hit the 21x limit, it is that.
They have now caught the back of the pace car for now, but yeah, that incident there, I don't think he could have turned that car. I think the damage was just that bad to where he was in a bad spot. A lot of cars were coming. He couldn't slam on the brakes. He got rear-ended, just part of it. And I feel bad for Tim Phillips, really, because he was in a wrong spot, wrong time. But now that 41 car pulls right behind. And take a look who's in second, though. Benefield. How the heck did he get second? He went from 20th to second.
Hey, we could say this, and it is true. Benefield is the last road course winner here in this series. Was able to grab the W at the Charlotte Roval right at the end of the 2025 campaign. Showing that same prowess here once again as we take a look at the hard chargers. Kevin Zosiak up a whole lot of spots since the drop of the green flag. We still got a lot of time left, but that's quite a good performance that we've got right now. But yeah, Adam Benefield, he's been a quiet pick throughout this race, Kirk. I think it's very fair to say he hasn't been the flashy kind of standout star that Andrew Dyson has been, but hey, in this new championship,
it's had a heck of a roller coaster. He went from the back 23rd, 24th, avoided a wreck on the outside, went all the way from that far back to get second. Adam Benefield just showed that he's got the grit to keep it going, even though you got a mistake or something happened where you got sent to the back. Him and the 91 are polar opposites in that mindset. That 91 car, after slight contact, quit the game, versus that 81 who had to go to the back, drove his way all the way back up to second, and that's well deserved. I think that 83, if he's able to keep it the anger up and the speed up, hopefully he has something for Dyson. I think that'd be entertaining to watch.
You'll see if he has the thunder to try and contend here as again, the field potentially coming down pit lane here at the stage break where seeing them heading all through the turn. I always forget just how twisty the end of this lap is. We have half the turns packed into a small little part of asphalt. You got turn 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, all within rapid succession of one another. Now we're going to see the field head their way down into the pit lane, and Andrew Dyson will lead them through. Staying out, though, is going to be that number 5 car. That is going to be interesting to see how Bryce Reiner can tackle this restart, as there they go down in the pit lane right about now. Andrew Dyson, who's been your race leader throughout the race, adds up a small little blip throughout stage number 2. Gonna lead them down once more with the likes of Benefield, Hicksonball, Wiles, Scherer Jr. Lots of very competitive cars following him in.
Now, the question is, do you get 4 tires, 2 tires, full tank gas, and you're good to go, or what are you going to be choosing to do? We're going to find out if anyone pulls any strats. I'm looking at the field right now, and I'm seeing 4 tires across the board. But I do think it'll be close up front. Let's see. Will it be? Yes, Dyson, then Benefield, then Hicksonball.
Yeah, and hearing that there's a lot of drivers staying out during that pit cycle. We see Lucas Hoytsma stayed out. Andrew Dyson, of course, didn't. He's will run that back, but yeah, lots of drivers staying out there. There you can see the entirety of your top six. Lucas Hoytsma, who we saw flip the stage. Medeiros, he flipped the stage as well. All these drivers flipped the stage. That's why they're running in that top spot. But some quick racers, some drivers looking to throw something else at the wall to see what sticks. But Hoytsma is a bit of an oddity in the case of those top six, in the sense that he's been the one that has been, at least in my book, the most consistently fast throughout the night and consistently battling up in the front. Hoytsman just trying to throw something at the wall to see what sticks, to break up what has been a fairly dominating drive and performance from Andrew Dyson, even with that battle that he had to claw back from during stage 2.
Yeah, he's got a ways to go, but right now that 97, we saw he was able to hang on to the lead for quite some time on even older tires. Now he's got some fresher tires. Will he be able to hang on this time? I think he's going to need the whole entire Eagle to be able to do it.
Yeah, playing the bald eagle screech. I'm not sure if that can be heard on the broadcast, but I heard it in all its American glory. God bless America. That is absolutely awesome. We'll roll it back here one more time. Hit it, Kirk. Is why they pay us the big bucks.
I like Eagles, man. That's cool. Not the Eagles, but I like Eagles.
See, I like Eagles as well. If I say that I like the Eagles, I'm going to see. The thing is, what we may be the ones talking to all of you tuning into this broadcast, but the real person who holds the power is Howie in the production truck. And now Howie is a fan of the Giants. And the Giants are our divisional rival in the in the NFL. So as Howie professes undying support for the fantastic team that is the New York Giants, I am treading on ice to make sure that my mic doesn't get cut here.
Hey, you're a road course guy, right?
I report to be one.
Yeah, okay. Now I gotta ask you this, good, because this is something I never understood. I've been a fan of racing on NASCAR tracks forever, and on every NASCAR track I've ever played on every video game, if I go on the pit road, I don't hear no deedle going off in the pit road. What is that sound, and why do they play it?
See, Kirk, for as long as I can remember, I've had memories. That is an alert for the drivers to for everybody else down in pit lane. It's for the people who are on the pit wall, so they know when a car is coming, because clearly the roar of a V8 engine is not enough.
But why? It's not. It's enough.
Yeah, I mean,
well, yeah, we've had it for years without pit road problems.
I'm trying to think. When was the last time? Yeah, it's being brought by Howie in the production truck. It's mainly a Formula One thing and a European thing. So, the World Endurance Championship racing here, they pull that up again. So it's just to alert the teams. I will say though, and this is honest, whenever I've been commentating or most certainly producing, and I have a shot on pit lane where you just hear that be-doo, 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 be-doo. It gives me bad flashbacks to, like, fire drills when I was in middle school.
Yeah, it sounds like, our producer just said it reminds him of when he worked at McDonald's. I'm like, yes, that sounds exactly like the fryer's going off. Yeah.
Be-doo, 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 be-doo.
Yeah. It gave me nightmares, man. Yeah, going back to high school days. Yuck. Well, we're going to have that restart now. Look, all right, let's go ahead and get back to the fun here, okay? I got to tell you about this right now. It's important to look. Grodzicki, I have no idea how this is going to go for him. I haven't seen him run that much. He's been running 44s in practice, 43s in the race. at least in qualifying. He's got a ways to go. I think he's going to be a little off pace. Noah Woods is in a very similar position. We saw what happened to Pollard last time. He dropped like a dang rock, went straight to the back. Casey Graves, might have a good chance of staying in the top 10. I think his lap times are close. But Devin Medeiros most certainly will probably have problems drop back. Hoytsma will probably hang on to the lead. So I'm looking at Dyson, and I know they're trying something. They're trying to throw something at the wall and see what sticks. But Dyson's now got to pass all these guys to get to the lead, and I think that's where him or Benefield. Also, side by side, they got to make that choice on how they're going to get through the carnage. Pace car's going to dive off. We're going to get back underway with 20 laps to go, I believe.
Yeah, so regular stage distance of green flag racing through to the very end. We got to consider that random chance yellow. We'll have to see if that pops up here. But here we go. The green flag is out. The drivers are back on their way. We're racing once again here at Circuit of the Americas. Look at Dyson going for the dive. Medeiros going for the dive. Everybody licking the stamp and sending it off to the post office into turn number 1. Hoytsma able to withstand the pressure. Casey Graves now in P2. Don't go 3 wide off through turn number 2 is the call from Howie in the production truck, and I gotta say those drivers should be counting their lucky stars. The fact they were able to go through there without any further incident. Now those are real tests. 6 and 7. This is when trouble may arise.
Benefield and Hicksonball both got locked behind a bunch of slower cars. They could not get back going. And right now they're trying to recover from that mistake. And the 41 is already at the 4th, all over the back bumper, a 3rd place, Devin Medeiros.
Yeah, Medeiros really impressive here, able to withstand the challenge, but not for long. Right as I open my mouth, Dyson gonna pounce as Medeiros runs wide, heading out of turn number 10. That's P3 for the driver of the 41 car. Hoytsma and Graves, the next drivers that are going to be feeling the pressure. As farther behind, the convergence of drivers on new tires and old, really giving us some hectic racing. We look at this fight.
Ooh.
Edward Scherer Jr. and Grodzicki. This is intense. Edward Scherer Jr., a driver that I've been singing the praises of so far tonight, able to jump ahead. And now Hunter Trull able to jump in front of Grodzicki as well.
It's just all over the dang place, sliding, slipping, trying to get to a comfortable spot. But oh my gosh, man, some of the moves that I'm seeing this 31 car, it looks like 31 cars on ice right now.
Yeah, that 31 car looks to be driving around as if the wheels are bolted on sideways, which you don't need to be an engineer to know that that is not the ideal way that race car should be driving. Adam Benefield just got moved on Nathaniel Pollard. That's for P5 for the number 83 car. We talked about him during the last stage break, but I think there's a lot of truth said and just, and a lot more meat on that bone that we can maybe nibble on now that we're back to green flag racing. Benefield really quick throughout the night. I would say impressively quick.
No, you got to look at his average finish. His average finish on these road courses is right around 5th place. So he's a guy who's going to be fast on these road courses. But whether or not he's going to get a win is difficult. He only won 1 last season out of the 5 that he started in. But battle for second just switched hands again. The 41 just got by Casey Graves, who's also doing a great job staying out there. I had a feeling he was going to be able to maintain. But again, he's unaffiliated right now. I think that car is sitting 3rd and going to sit pretty for a while. But Benefield will get to his back bumper soon, no doubt about it.
Yeah, an awesome performance so far for Casey Graves, but lots of pressure that driver, the 01 car, is going to be feeling here. The Jaws team starting to play once more. Andrew Dyson now clear, going to try and close up that gap to himself and Hoytsma. Now, we saw during stage number 2, Kirk, Dyson kind of played a bit safe with himself and Hoytsma. I wonder if we're going to see a repeat of that. Now that we're in the final stage, we still have a lot of racing action left to try and tackle here, so plenty of time left for him to try and get a move done. So we'll have to see exactly how it plays out. Dyson setting a quick time, though, as we take a look at Cody Bird. We were riding on board with him earlier on here in this race. Sideways, heading into the braking zone, locked up the rears. Wheel hop into the turn and nearly rang the bell of the Taco Bell car right in front.
I wish I had that sound effect queued up, but I do not, unfortunately. All I got is, yeah, something like that. Hang on. Actually, I do. I have that one. Yeah, all right. I have that one.
Sound effects are hilarious. Let's.
Oh, can we please just leave my sound effects on? Oh, God. Here we
The
go.
number 94 nearly just died. Nearly saw another driver ring the bell. That's Edward Sherrod Jr. locking up the rears big time, heading off into turn number 9. He's now got fantastic view of this side-by-side fight. Wiles and Medeiros. P6 at the moment is what they're battling for. Is Sherrod Jr. going to stick his nose into the fight?
Oh, man. Can we get, real quick, I just want to have this up on screen so we know to keep an eye on it. Do we have the ability to have a gap between the 41 and the 97 at the bottom of the screen? If we can get that loaded up, that'd be great. But up front, yeah, these two are battling hard, man. Medeiros in the 9, and oh my gosh, look out!
Oh, the 71 sending it. Oh my goodness, you could tell that was a big dive because I started to sound like a wrestling commentator there. I thought that was going to result in a round of bowling, I'll be completely honest, Kirk. So, well held by Hunter Truex. Well, we see another dive heading off into turn number 1. Still side by side with Pollard. Tap from the back from the 73 of McWhorter as he nearly tried to go for it on Medeiros.
Yeah, side by side, that Pollard car just seems to be stuck in a bad spot right now. I would not want to go into the S's side by side. That's why they're going to get turned.
Yeah, that was inevitable. Side-by-side racing feud. They're going to end in one way, and it is catastrophe. The both of them sliding out.
But for the lead. Live.
Oh.
He's all over the back bumper now.
Boy, yeah, there you can see it. Dyson all over Hoytsma. Half a second margin. Well farther down from the multiple cars and multiple seconds that split them once we got the stage up and rolling. Hoytsma feeling the pressure.
There he goes.
You know how I said that Dyson was maybe going to start to be a bit more aggressive now that we're in the final stage? Well, look at this. Nearly thought about going for the move on the exit at 12 through 13 and 14, but he's got to once again save the run for that half a mile start-finish straight away. This is where you can try and get it done. So Dyson tucking back in tow, just waiting to try and apply some pressure to Hoytsma. A bit of a wiggle over the curb. He goes for it into the final turn, though. Dyson with the send into turn 16.
No,
they'll be side by
him
side as they come across the stripe. But yeah, Hoytsma going to keep that momentum rolling. But Dyson, if he could just stay along side by side into the braking zone of turn number 1, he's going to have a fantastic opportunity here. You can see the fire spitting out of the side of the exhaust.
Whoa!
Driver's trying to go for it. Hoytsma with a slide through the turn. He's able to hold on to it. Hoytsma is not going down without a fight as he's still side by side all through 2. Holds on the inside.
Oh, no, that's it.
Now Dyson going to get the spot.
Oh, it looked like, that 97 really didn't want that to happen, but that's over. 41's gone, man. See you next week. I think that 41, unless we see a caution, which there's a good chance we might, we'll see what they choose to do. No mistakes out of that 41 or that 97. I think Benefield is trying to chase down that 97 as well. You see him in the distance there. He'll probably try and catch up too, but like I said, that 41 now just got to relax and keep the car underneath you.
Yeah, hit your marks. That's always a saying. Hit your marks, especially on these road courses. Just run your own race. Forget all the other chaos going around. You can just do that. You'll be golden. There's not a lot that he can control when it comes to the yellows. As we take a look now at the chaos that broke out heading off to the S's. This was just a byproduct of going side by side heading off to the S's.
Oh, man, Foudy. I hate to hear that for the 77. He got back going, but I got some news for you about the 77 car. Did you know that Seth Foudy's wife actually spots for him in these races? I think that's actually kind of dang cool.
Ooh,
another spin. Wow, Zosiak took out the 71. Man, bad position for Hunter Truex this week. He had speed early, but, more contact. What's going on?
So hearing that Drew Prohl may have gotten disqualified, is that correct? From the production truck? Yeah, so Drew Prohl out of this race, and let's see, going for the send, heading off into turn number 1. Oh, and a little bit of contact potentially there at the 44, and from there, I think just snowballed out of control. You could already see, at this point, the tires are screeching in agony, so I can't imagine this goes well, heading off through the S's. 1 curb, 2 curb, 3 curb, 4, slides off the track, and out of this race he is going to go.
Oh, he sends it in deep, 3 wide. Oh, and the 31 said none of it. Oh, Rainier gets it from Rainier. I don't know. How do you say his name?
Oh, Bryce Rainier. Oh, my goodness.
Yep.
That, you know, I'm going to be honest, Kirk, that was the quintessential. Like, if you looked up a falling anvil in the dictionary, that would be the photo that would be right next to it. That was such a shame. Literally nothing that he could have done there. Just circumstances around him and Kong right on.
I can see it, though. He had a good day going. Yeah, he had a good day going.
Perfect in reference to the Taco Bell dong, not perfect in reference to the falling anvil. Yeah, there you go. Oh, my goodness. This has been a pretty entertaining race, it must be said. These drivers, I gotta say, have brought the thunder here, and it solidifies my love for this new NASCAR configuration of this track. May not be the biggest change of the world. There's just recycling asphalt that was laid down here a matter of nearly a decade and a half ago, but it's a small little change that makes a world of difference that puts the racing back in these drivers' hands, and I absolutely love it because we've seen send after send, drivers bringing the thunder and the heat. They're not going down without a fight, even for these battles outside of the top 5, outside of the top 10. Got this battle right now just barely inside the top 10 between Medeiros and Wineland. Nobody's laying down their arms. They're always going down swinging.
Oh, goodness, that 21 car. Medeiros there right behind him, and then McWhorter. Oh, my gosh, getting on the binders. Look out. Found a hole, trying to get by the 20. Is he going to do it? Oh, makes contact with the door. No, the 20 car not going to be happy about that.
Yeah, I'm not sure how that's going to go down, but hey, if these drivers have frayed nerves, it's going to make the next week's action here in the Friday Night Lights series all that more interesting, and you'll be able to tune into the racing at Phoenix in just 1 week's time here on the channel. So, of course, we do also have the full-length Cup Challenge coming up here tomorrow as well. Yeah, I'm going to ask you, Kirk, because we have a lot of the racers in this event who run in both the Friday Night Lights series and the full-length Cup Challenge. How often do these races in the sister series convert off into Saturday nights? I'm sure it happens quite a decent amount, because I know even sometimes for these racers when they're a little bit disappointed from the week prior in the Cup Series, they try and come into these O'Reilly races and bring the thunder.
So you're saying that you're trying to find out how often the Cup guys come down to racing the Friday Night Lights? Is that what your question is?
Well, no, I know that happens a lot. I'm just asking how much the way these races go affect their Cup efforts. It's like for a driver like Andrew Dyson, it's just going to put wind in his sails for tomorrow, or for a driver like Hoytsma, is that going to put wind in his sails?
You know, you can go work for Wendy's and you could be pretty good there, and then you go work for McDonald's and it's pretty similar. I mean, it's not necessarily the same thing here. It's not. These cars are completely different from the next gen. It doesn't help them hardly ever. It only really helps them with the track layout. It doesn't help you with braking points or anything. Each car is extremely different. These cars that we have in the B cars, they're a lot more slidey. They're a lot more all over the place. You can control a slide in the B car. The moment you get to that next gen car, you get that thing loose. It is so hard to keep underneath you. They're twitchy. So twitchy. You can see Foudy trying to make a move on Noah Woods there. Now 16 trying to make a move on Vin Hinchel. This whole group right here seems just like a magnet's bringing them together.
Yeah, so the neodymium magnets snapping together here right now, and still keeping themselves honest. They're packed in like sardines, heading their way all through turns number 13 and 14 right now. Look at the 77 all over that curb, having a saw at the wheel to keep it going in a straight line. The handling at this point on these cars has got to just suck.
Okay, yeah, I think so right now. Their tires are just going to start screaming. Look out here. Casey Graves is going to get under fire from Bryson Hicksonball. No doubt about it. I think Hicksonball might be able to get on by. We'll see. But I'm looking at the gaps, and this is the only one that I see closing right now. All the other ones are kind of maintaining. Up in the top 5 at least.
Yeah, so some gap management. You can manage the gaps here on the road courses. Just keep it clean. Make sure you have the car underneath you at all times, which, from what we've seen so far tonight, a lot easier said than done. For a driver like Andrew Dyson holding on to that race lead, hitting the marks, if you could just execute behind the wheel, do everything that you need to do, and just let all the chaos go on around you, you can come out of one of these races smelling like a bed of roses. These two drivers looking to maybe flare up into a battle. Casey Graves, who I still will say has been very impressive throughout this race in that 1 car, and pretty impressive throughout this season thus far. Currently holding on to 8th in those season points heading off into this round of the championship. And now considering some drivers in front of him, including Alex Princeton in that 9 machine, are not here. Eddie Rose, I don't think, is here either. Either that or they're just in witness protection. We haven't seen any of them here tonight. But Casey Graves has done himself a heck of a lot of favors in terms of the chase grid, really putting together some strong performances in that 01 Supra.
He has, actually. I think that this is going to be a good year for that 01. He's going to probably stand out. Who knows? He might go do FLCC at some point next season. I think that 01 is going to be fun to watch. But he's in a position racing with some of the best on the road courses right now. Sitting right now in 4th, under fire for 5th, but still running really well. Him, Daniel Wiles have surprised me as well. But everybody else kind of hasn't really shown too much surprise out of my gut. Everybody up front, other than those two, I expect to see somewhat near the front. So, yeah, 63 is able to make that pass pretty easy. Goes straight up another spot.
Yeah, so well earned there from Hickson Ball. Not a lot of fighting there from Casey Graves. And at this point, Graves doesn't have too much to threat about, even if Daniel Wiles gets involved in that fight and sends Casey Graves down into P6. It is a further 6.5 seconds that he would have to fall into the crutches of Edward Scherer Jr. in P7. Another driver that I think has put together a good race. Here's one driver that's been in the thick of it, though, up and down the field like Otis Elevator. It's Bryce Reiner, and the number 5 machine finds itself in a scrap with Noah Woods. Seth 40, who we just saw right behind with a bit of a sideways wiggle, heading out of turn number 10 through 11 right there. But Reiner, a driver who he's really experienced it all, from battling up towards the front, going for some alternate strategies, getting struck by falling anvils, having some falling anvils strike down on his competitors. It has been a varied night for that number 5 car.
Yeah, you know, I'm a little surprised negatively about that 5 car. I expected him to be a little farther towards the front. Obviously, he was in the beginning part of the race, which was expected. But after that contact, he had a little bit of damage, got in a position where he lost a lot of ground. You know, it's unfortunate. Bad day for the 5 car here, right now running 13th. I bet he'd like to get back into the top 10 to try and salvage something. But he's only got 11 laps to go. He's going to need a caution. And whether or not that happens is going to be at a random point. If it does happen, there's a percentage chance it happens, percentage chance it doesn't. I mean, I don't think that it won't happen. I think it's going to happen eventually, very soon, actually. I have a good inclination that we're going to see a caution in the next 2 to 3 laps.
Yeah, so let us see if we have a yellow between now and the very end. So that random chance as Bryce Reiner getting the move done on Noah Woods. That was into turn number 8, and pretty textbook stuff there. Once we get into the final 5 laps, though, if we haven't had a yellow, then we will not have one to decide this race. I will say a nice little statistical anomaly to bring up here is that thus far this season, we've had 3 different pole sitters in the first 3 rounds of the championship. Bryson Ball at Daytona, Adam Benefield at Atlanta, and Jacob Quill tonight here at Circuit of the Americas. With Eddie Rose not being here and Jacob Simpson getting disqualified, we are guaranteed to have 3 different pole sitters and 3 different race winners in the opening 3 rounds of this series. You know how I said that one-off winners were a distinct possibility and we're going to be seeing a very competitive season? That proves it.
Very possible. Yeah. Now, as for, you know, the end of the season, I don't even think about the end of the season anymore. I used to because of the whole winning you're in. It made you think about playoffs all the dang time. However, now that the chase is here, I don't even think about it. I think about like maybe at race 10 is when I start really worrying about points. Now it's about making the individual races so important to win and so magical. When you win a race in this series, it should not be great. He's in the playoffs. He has a chance to win championship. No, it's holy crap. He just won a race. That's awesome. I always said that race. Oh, there's that caution I was talking about right there. Told you it was coming.
Yep, the yellow has now come upon us. That comes with 10 laps left to go here tonight. No replays to take a look at, but this is going to be the random chance yellow that we had not feared throughout this race, but had kind of like a slight whimsical outlook on as to whether or not it was going to happen or not.
Oh, it was going.
Well, the random chance yellow fairy has now graced us. There's a $20 bill under our bed and one less tooth in our mouth. We got.
I wish they would have did that last year. Yeah, last year when they had this exact race, they threw the caution with like 2 to go. It was a really weird situation. They had the random caution go all the way up to the end of the race. However, because of that, they changed the rules, and now I think that's what ended up hurting Dyson last time. But now we're going to get a restart probably with about 7 or 6 laps to go, depending on when they get there. But now the question is, do you pit? Do you need tires? Do you need gas? We're going to have to watch that 41 car because I believe it's turned into damned if you do, damned if you don't. If you come down, everybody else will stay out, and you have no chance. If you go down, everybody else, if you stay out, everybody will come down and get fresh tires, and then you might get screwed. I think that might be a decision that's really weighing on that 41's mind right now.
Ooh, that's something that I'm thinking about right now here in the broadcast booth, trying to wonder what may be the game plan, what may be the call worth making. Now, these drivers do have 4 tire sets allotted to them throughout the night, but that can only go so far. You know, we had the original tires that we started this race off, had I guess they do have 1 more left in their back pockets if my my math is mathing properly. So, I don't know, Kirk, I'm going to pass this to you because you were a driver in this series last year. We got to experience these cars on the road courses. We have seen tires play a somewhat muted role tonight, but we are off the back of a pretty marathon stint thus far here. So certainly for a driver like Lucas Hoisma, who stayed out on the last stage break, it's probably worth it to come down for 4 tires. But what would you do at this point if you had just come down pit lane on that previous stage yellow?
I'd do the opposite of whatever the lead did. If the leader stayed out, then I'd go down pit road. If the leader pits, I'd make sure I stay out. I'd do the opposite of whatever Dyson does. You can't beat them on speed. You got to beat them on strategy. And so whatever the 41 does, you do the opposite. That's what I would do.
And I don't think that's a bad decision at all, as we see the field heading their way off through the south end of the circuit. Looks like everybody is piling in pit lane.
Yep.
No, Hoytsma breaking
ya.
away. You called that, Kirk.
Yeah, I told you. You cannot do what that 41 does and expect to win this race. However, the 83 is the only one I think that maybe, if he had an even shot, could compete with that car. Now, think about this. If you're on pit road, do you get 2 tires? Do you get 4 tires? If you're the 83, I think you need to get 4. But if you're the 41, you might get 2. I don't know. We're going to find out what they decide to do right now. They're sitting on pit road. I'm looking at it. Looks like they're getting right sides first. The 83 might actually beat the 41 off pit road. He got the jack up a little faster. Yeah, I think that 83 might be someone to beat off pit road. We'll see. Here he goes. Will he get there? No, not quite.
So Dyson is going to come out P8 here of this field. Going to be, I wouldn't call it a setback. He's going to have some new tires on that race car. So certainly going to give us some thunder to bring at the end. Yeah, it is a setback in an odd sense, but he does have some wind left to be put in his sails. Now, I'm curious, Howie, if we can pull up some of the other track conditions here, because I am curious. We haven't seen the tires really get grabbed here throughout the night. However, You can see 89 degrees Fahrenheit for the track temp. That's part of the reason why these tires have been quite mellowed out. For race car tires, that is pretty much that is damn near perfect. It has been dropping down a bit as the sun has started to drop below the horizon and the shadows have grown longer here in Austin, Texas. But those track temps on a road course, that is as close to optimal as you can get. Not so cold whereby you're going to have to struggle coming out of the pits, even under yellow, to keep the car on the road, and the track temperature is something that will just come back to bite you. Or on the opposite side, when the track temp is so hot your tires start to boil, that is in the Goldilocks zone. That is the sweet spot for these tires. So I think those racers who did stay out, that could be something that benefits them, just having the advantage of their tires not being completely worn down to the canvas.
I actually really feel bad for Dyson. I feel like if I were him, I would have probably stayed out. Looking at how many cars stayed out in front of him and what we saw on the start of that second stage, I am worried for Dyson. I don't think it's not gonna be easy for him. Absolutely not. The only thing going for him is that all the cars in front of him have, like the last restart that they had 7 laps on their tires compared to their fresh tires for Dyson. So that took them a while to get through. But with 19, 20 laps, 15 in some cases, I think that could really mean a lot for that 83 and the 41, both cars. Both Benefield and Dyson, these guys both have a chance to win this race. I think they can, absolutely. But it's about who can get through the traffic the best. And one thing that's going to really change this is we just had a car go down pit road, the 74 car, right? 74 is Brian Workman, who's a lap down, so he's not going to be a big deal. He's not a big deal at all here. I'm looking at the double file restart, and I'm seeing Dyson restarting on the outside, which is not going to help him. However, it will help the 83 at Benefield. Benefield's going to be restarting on the inside into turn 1. That's going to benefit him so much. He's going to be able to dive it in there deep and push all those guys up and out of the way.
Yeah, and it being a road course, of course, you don't have the usual oval rules. You can change lanes here. But yeah, you brought up a fantastic point there, Kirk. Have you ever seen the meme of, are you silly? I'm still going to send it. That's what we're going to have here at the end of this race. We're going to have drivers hauling the mail, heading off into turn number 1. I feel bad for some of the drivers that may get caught up in the chaos and craziness. We'll say there's one person who's very happy about it. It's Phil, the record driver, in turn number 1. He's going to make $1 million here soon if turn 1 shenanigans happen to be turn 1 shenanigans.
Yeah, I don't know, man. I just don't feel very good about it. I'm getting a little antsy. I'm getting real antsy about this whole thing. I don't like how it looks. In the top 7, there are, looks like 5 cars out of the top 7 that started outside of top 10, which worries me even more. Knowing how many cars they got to get through, I don't know if they're going to be able to get there, and I don't know if Hoytsman's going to be able to hang on. Hicksonball might be able to win it. Maybe those 2 are the guys that are going to try and get this done. But it's really just changed the entire landscape of the race. So they should have just started it off this way, and it would have been a lot quicker.
Yeah, I think a general sense of unease is going to be following these competitors throughout this restart, throughout the field. Whether it be Lucas Hoytsman, Bryson Hicksonball on the front row, whether it be drivers in the midfield who are probably hoping just to survive, or those drivers who we saw come down pit lane for tires. If you can side your way through the running order here, you can be golden. You've got 2 very proficient road course racers, the top of those racers who came down into the pits for tires, Andrew Dyson and Adam Benefield. They're running in P8 and P9 respectively. That's a very competitive row. They're not actually sharing the same row, but the point still remains the same, that there are going to be some good drivers to keep our eyes on. We got a lot of things up for grabs, lots of things at stake. You've got racers trying to side their way through the running order, others looking to try and defend, and you've got such a strong contrast between drivers on defense and drivers on offense. Something is going to go down. You know, we're in Austin, Texas, not too far away from Tornado Valley, so we're getting into that sort of territory where this is going to be a tornado, at the end of this race. Let's see who gets caught up there. Let's see whose mobile home is going to get sent 3 towns down as we get the green flag out for what could be the final time here in the night. The green flag flies Dakota. The driver's back on their way. Hoytsma, Hixamal, look at Casey Graves trying to stick his nose into this battle as well. Devin Medeiros in that number 20 car. Look at the move from Dyson, sends it big time into 1.
Oh, this ain't over, man. He's still 3 wide. Look out. He's in a bad spot. He's in a real bad spot. Oh, the 34 gets turned. There goes Benefield around. Benefield's out. Benefield is out. Up front, it still looks like it's going to be the 97 of Hoytsma's running away with this. Hixenball sitting in second. This ain't over by any shot. You can see Dyson running there in 5th, making a move now for 4th. They're going. He goes to the inside of the 20 car of Medeiros getting in by. Man, this ain't over, but I feel so bad for that 83. I knew that was going to happen.
Oh, and you can tell that was a close quarters.
Oh, another wreck.
Disaster breaking out behind. That's Von Henschel with a huge lock up in the rear. That's going to cause him to spear it straight into the fence. He's going to drop down like an anvil push out of a helicopter. Nearly runs into the back of Medeiros. Now Dyson trying to close up that gap to himself and the top 3. Well, now running in P3, closing up that gap to himself in the top 2. I apologize. You can see it's all chaos going on behind. That's drama involving Tyler W. Hunter as we have more racers getting involved. Dyson now. They thought he was down and out for the count. You thought that he may have been down and out for the count, Kirk, but he has fought back with a vengeance.
Yeah, I was scared for him, but I think he's going to be there. I think it's going to be a cool battle between the 63, the 97, and the 41. That's what I want to see. It's just a good battle. Let's see how it goes. Coming to get 5 laps to go here at Circuit of the Americas. And, man, you can't ask for a better finish. You can't line this up any better. 2 fast guys on old tires and 1 really fast guy on fresh tires. I think we know how this is going to go. We only got 5 laps, which is a long time around here. I think that 41's just got to be patient.
Nearly 5 laps left to go here from a night that has been chock full of amazing racing action, lots of close quarters calls, drivers running into one another, and these top 3 who were involved in a battle earlier on, things kind of broke out in disaster then. We're hoping that a repeat of that doesn't happen, but look at that. Dyson very close to Hixenball as they head their way sliding out of turn number 8 into 9. This was a choke point where disaster broke out earlier on, and they're running in this exact same order back then.
Wow.
Dyson gonna pounce. He goes from down the inside off into turn number 10. Don't see a driver go for a move like that, but that's Andrew Dyson for you.
Awesome.
Gets the spot P2 on Hixenball. That's how you pull it off. Now he's got 1 more to tackle.
I didn't even see that coming. I'm on board watching him right now, and I'm like, I didn't even think that move was in this encyclopedia of moves you can make. That was awesome. Now he's all the way to the back bumper to the 97 car, and he's going to try and pull off some magic here. The 97's pushing so hard, though. You got to give him credit. He's doing everything he can to try and hang on.
Yeah, and he is hustling at the moment. Oh, my goodness. I thought I was going to see Dyson go for a dive off into the final turn, but Hoytsma desperately trying to run away. He's got an Exocet missile closing up to him in the rearview mirror. It's only a matter of time before contact may be made. Here we go. Dyson setting it off into turn number 1. Hoytsma blocking it off, though, a little bit, running the defensive line through the turn. Runs a little bit wide on exit, but Dyson, though, with a quick time of 138.9. He's choosing to peak at the right time as Hoytsma is just trying to find any way in the book to hold on to this spot. He is going to try and drive the widest NASCAR O'Reilly Series car ever built by man, the widest Supra ever created by man, because that's all he's got to do. But you can see him running a little bit wide, heading out turn number 7, grazing against that barrier, sliding the back end of the car around all over the place. Dyson right there to pounce. Look at Hoytsma hustling it through into the braking zone of 9, but he's just pushing it a little bit over the edge. He runs wide out of the turn. Now Dyson looking for the move around the outside into turn number 10. He got done on the inside on Hixenball. Can't make it work on the outside on Hoytsma, but he is still right there to pounce. Look at that bumper to bumper, fender to fender racing contact made through turn number 12. They've only got 3 laps left to go this time by, and Dyson is not giving up. He wants this W.
Well, he's still there, man. He's going to be side by side. This is going to be really bad for that 97.
Oh,
don't make a mistake, 41. Here we go, side by side into a tight left-hander. They're allowed to go way off here. Take a look. They're both going off track, trying to get back on the racetrack. 41 Dyson makes it move, but the 97's back to the inside.
Hoytsma not going down without a fight. Dyson fought for it into turn 15. Don't see a driver go for a move like that ever. Doesn't matter what kind of car you run around here. A Mosquito won't even try and overtake his Mosquito friend in there, but Dyson went for it on Hoytsma. The race lead for him, 3 laps left to go, 7.5 miles left of racing action, and Dyson now just needs to hang on for Hoytsma, though. You got to see a change in strategy for him. He was playing a defensive masterclass, trying to hold off that hard charger in the number 41. Now, though, he's got to absolutely send it, but with 4-lap older tires, may not seem like a world of difference, but that is a huge gap here on this turn-heavy racetrack. 16 turns every single lap, so that 4-lap difference is definitely a lot. Hoytsma now just going to have to try and hold on to this spot. I think for right now, he has a shot. He's still keeping Dyson within an arm's reach, but I'm not sure if he'll be able to fight back. I think this may be Dyson's for the W.
I mean, got to give that guy some props. How on earth is he able to do this? He restarted in an unfavorable line. Found a way down to the inside of turn 1, able to make that move, made it work. Able to avoid the carnage that happened right behind him with the 97 and the 94, I should say, getting spun out and then sent out to Adam Benefiel, who now is running in 12th, trying to come back to get a top 10. I think that would be a good goal for him in that 83 car. He's got a ways to go, but take a look here. Eric Wineland, he's at the highest point he's been all day. He's under fire right now from Daniel Wiles, who's having a great day. But behind him, take a look at that. Bryce Renier also making a great recovery. You got cars that were wrecked earlier, like Hunter Truel, now inside the top 10.
Yeah, so some chaos breaking down throughout it. That is for darn sure, and giving some drivers a fantastic opportunity to scythe their way through the running order. Look at the 5 and the 88 side by side heading through turn number 1. Yeah, I gotta say here, Kirk, and this is honest as we get into the conclusion of this race, turn 1 I always think is going to be a trouble spot, and even though it has been for some, I haven't seen the field clearing pileup that you would usually expect running here at this racetrack. Some great racing throughout. Reiner and Wiles battling it out for P7 at the end of all of this. Some drivers have been able to withstand the challenge and put on some good drives and kind of do a little bit of damage limitation as well. You know, after 2 plate races to get the season up and rolling, some drivers just looking to turn their season around. There's Reiner getting the move done on Wiles, some textbook stuff as they headed their way off in through turn number 9 there. But for the first non-super speedway of this season, Coda has treated us to an absolute barn burner here tonight.
I think Coda, this race here is just, I mean, a product of what we're running. The playoffs, the chase, the way how it works out, the races with the stages have really made this race bearable. I could say that from a fan's point of view, but up front, again, these cautions that brought Dyson back to the field and had us watch him march from the back to the front. Adam Benefiel's march from the back to the front has been nothing short of amazing. Can we get a camera on that 83 if we can real quick? Benefiel if we can. As we got the final lap here for Dyson, he's got 1 more to go. But Benefiel right here is on the cusp of getting a top 10 if he's able to pass that car right in front, which is phenomenal considering he had a wreck just a handful of laps ago.
Whoa, Jackson, 2 drivers chasing each other's tails. It's a turn number 1. Benefiel peeked out to try and get the move done. Truel chased his own, trying to block it off as Reiner is also maybe going to be falling into the crutches of this as well. That was definitely a bit of a block there from the number 71, but up in the front as that battle has now cooled off after it started to boil over heading into turn number 1, looking to cap off a night of Dominance for sure, but not a smooth night for Andrew Dyson. He's had a lot of setbacks, have had to cut his way through the field, and had a pretty big one on that last restart. Less than 10 laps left to go. Had to overtake cars on fresher tires, but he was able to cope with the challenge brilliantly. Dyson heads his way out of 12 through 13 and 14 right now. The stalwart and the road course ace in the full-length Cup Challenge, continuing on that form here in the Friday Night Lights Series. Andrew Dyson from Australia, heading his way up through the final turns right now. He's losing some time to Hoytsma, but he's about to come across that checkered flag, so it doesn't really matter here. Andrew Dyson gonna round his way out of turn number 16 with a slide and the drift of a showman. Andrew Dyson gonna win the race here at Circuit of the Americas.
Man, you saw that coming, but right here, Benefield's still trying to get, oh wow, almost a top 8. That 83 still, there goes Wineland, the 21. Get back on the gas, buddy. Come on, push.
Yeah. Oh, that engine is absolutely wrecked, but Wineland trying to putt it across the line, and he does. Just gave himself whiplash. He finishes in P13. I think when everything is said and done,
14.
may have actually been 14th.
15.
He's still dropping down. I think it may have been P13 by the time he came across the stripe. Oh, that is so unfortunate. As Dyson grabs the W, chaos breaking out there. It was a hectic end to this race, it is fair to say, Kirk. But what a drive.
Yeah, he's going to do burnout. Watch his drifts. That 41 likes to drift when he wins races like this. He's going to drift around these corners. Let's see if he's going to find which one. You can't. Yeah, there you go. I love it. Guy's awesome. I knew he was going to do it. I saw him do it in his qualifying run. He was practicing this. He was practicing in qualifying. I knew it was going to happen, too. Look at it. He's going to do another. This is such a cool little section to drift, but that 41 just got best car control out of anybody in the field.
It's like drifting a tuna boat. Oh, this is impressive from a very impressive drive and a very impressive drift from Andrew Dyson. Yeah, I'm going to say it. I'll say it flat out. No other terminology, and I apologize for the slightly coarse language. That's badass. I don't care who you are. That's badass. But, dong indeed. That'll be the reaction I get from having the production truck just a smack across the back of the head. But Andrew Dyson burning it down. Right, he's earned the right to let loose though, because he had to have so many setbacks. Or for a driver who was dominant, a driver that we expected to be dominant throughout this race, it was not a smooth night at all.
Yeah, he is one of the best, and I mean this. He is one of the best road course racers I have ever seen. Period. He won every single Cup Series race last season on a road course. Who cares? It's broken. Who cares? He's just doing burnouts. He's happy. It doesn't matter about the way the car looks. We're going to talk to him here in just a minute. But yeah, that 41, nobody comes close to his stuff, all right? He's the best there is, plain and simple, as you may have heard once or twice. I believe. Here we go.
Here's the deal. I'm the best there is, plain and simple. I mean, I wake up in the morning, I piss excellent.
Yeah, that's him. That's Dyson.
So we're going to take a quick look at some of these replays, and we've had a lot of fun with the soundboards. And we've had a lot of fun just period here on this show. It's been an absolute treat. Hopefully all of you tuning into the show have enjoyed it as well. Yeah. Let's see the major setback from Benefiel. 94 again, sent by the 48 right into the side of the 83. Collateral damage there in the case of Benefiel. Really nothing that he could have done there. Disaster breaking out. I think had that not taken place, he may have been a driver to contend for a podium spot at the end. And as we're going to catch up to see this moment from Ryan Von Henschel. This was heading off through 6 and 7. It was into turn number 9, though, when things stacked up. You can see the 41 getting the move done. That was slick on Devin Medeiros. And then the 20 right in tow. Running over the curb here, so it's already quite tricky. The 20 stacking it up big time. The 2 having a check up in response and wheel hopping it big time through there. I think that's a mix of wheel hopping and a little bit of rear lock as we see Benefiel going for the move on Wineland. Kind of spooks him to run wide a bit, and then the 5 not really giving the space for the 21. I think that was just hard racing there. I'm sure Race Control will have a look at that when everything is said and done here tonight. But Not factory fresh for sure for that number 21 car when it came across a stripe, rounding off a pretty scrappy night for him. But let's take a look at your race results at the end of this third race of the championship, the Shortcut 250 here at Coda, and it's Andrew Dice and the Aussie winning it all at the end. 1 second was the margin, but it was 2.5 at the start of that final lap. And frankly, the gaps do not tell the story of what was a hard-fought drive for everybody rounding at your podium. It was Lucas Hoytman in P2 and Bryson Hicksonball finishing in third. Casey Graves will come across the line in fourth. A fantastic result for the driver, the 01. He'll be in front of Devin Medeiros in the number 20, who had a pretty eventful night in his own regard. Finishes this race in fifth. Daniel Wiles will be classed in sixth in front of reigning series champion Joseph McWhorter. Adam Benefiel, who had to fight back from chaos and craziness ever since the drop of the green, will finish in a very hard-fought P8. Hunter Truel will be classed in ninth in the number 71 car, with Bryce Reiner rounding at your top 10.
Finishing in 11th tonight will be Seth Foudy, just outside of top 10 there. A couple guys I want to mention here. Tyler Hunter had a good run. Unfortunately, had a little bit of an issue there at the end. Eric Wineland as well. Great race altogether, but came just short in that final little stint. Got wrecked there. So you can look at the rest of the finishers for your top 20 here. Guys just had really rough runs. Some of them were just very happy to make it to the end of the thing, to say the least.
Yeah, and although those drivers did, many other racers did not see the end of this race. You can see outside of the top 20, we have Kevin Zosiak classed in 21st, Cliff Mullins in 22nd. Many a racer running into troubles throughout, I think it is fair to say. Tim Phillips in 23rd. And then we also get into the drivers multiple laps down, running into troubles, including your championship points leader heading into this race, Jacob Simpson, classed in 36th. That is a pretty significant kick in the shins for him to round off the night. But Kirk, looks like we have some drivers looking to have a chat with us, and I'm gonna let you have dibs on a race winner.
Cool, awesome, man. Andrew Dyson just showing up. Hey, Andrew, how you doing, man? You got the job done. You won it. I know you gave us some drama there at the end, but man, that was cool. Fun to watch. How's it feel behind the wheel?
Man, it feels like I wake up in the morning and you know what? It's piss excellence and all that.
Yes!
I can't remember what I was supposed to say.
Yeah, I knew it.
No, it was a good race, man. I mean, Lucas was, he was putting up a good fight there. He was, parking it up, putting his car in the right places. There was one time there I thought I was going to drill him. Didn't happen, so it was good. We kept racing. That was a good little battle. Had fun.
Oh man, that was awesome. I gotta say, thank you for that. That's funny. I gotta ask you there at the end. There was a move I really liked that you made. Not for the lead, but it was for second on Hicksonball, where you went wider than I've seen anybody. But then he went super shallow into that right hander. Is that something you do often, or is that something you had in your bag of tricks, or is this something you decided you were going to make the move right there? Or tell me about that. How'd you come up with that?
So you kind of pick it up on the fly. You come through there, and obviously he's on older tires. That was Bryson. So you come through that left-hander there, and you've got so much more mid-corner speed that you just kind of carry it out to the right. And by the time you get to the next, the part of the road where you need to hit the brake, you're so far up alongside the car on the inside that you've basically got it done, especially with the new tyres. You go around the next right-hander, you've got so much more grip, and you're on line. You're not on the dirty stuff like the car on the outside. It's pretty much a done deal by that stage, but... I think I pulled that one a couple of times on a few different dudes, but I mean, I guess Bryson was the first one that was on TV.
Yeah, that's the first one I saw. Yeah, man, that was awesome. I gotta tell you here at the end of the day, obviously you have a lot of folks that help you get to where you are. Anybody want to shout out, let know that you appreciate their help?
Well, yeah, man. I mean, in all seriousness, it's all the folks over at TCSP that put time and effort into making setups and stuff. Not only setups, but all the practicing and stuff that goes into it. It's really, really helpful. It's a big eye opener, so it helps me a lot. I think sometimes it makes me realize how much more I've got to learn, but it's a great place to be.
All right, now you got the race tomorrow. Obviously, you're going to go out there. You plan on racing tomorrow?
Yeah, for sure.
All right, got to ask you. What is your opinion on your odds going into it? If you were talking to someone who was going to put $1 million down on a driver, what would you say to make them pick you?
man, you're probably going to want to split it and go each way on probably a few different dudes because it's pretty competitive. There's a lot of guys who are going to have a good shot. I mean, there's even dudes out there who probably don't really rate themselves, but with the way these races play out, with the way the cautions come along, just like at the end of this race, I mean, you never know what could happen. I think there's probably a handful of guys that could win on pace. I know it's only the first race of the year, but going into it from what we're seeing on official stuff and other leagues, you kind of get an idea of who's going to be really fast. So yeah, I think there's a few guys. You probably want to split that 1 million each way on a few different drivers, I reckon.
All right. Well, still even sportsmanlike even after the fact, man. It was a pleasure talking with you, and congrats on the win this afternoon.
Thank you, boys, and thanks everyone for putting on the TV show and everyone behind the league like Bryson, Bobby, Jason, all those folks, and everyone else who chips in. Appreciate it.
All right, we'll see you next time, Andrew.
See you, boys.
It was Andrew Dyson. Back to you, Ron.
And I've been able to have a chat with Lucas Hoytsma, a driver who throughout the race had some really good pace and a P2 at the end. Lucas, welcome into the broadcast booth. P2 for you at the end of this race. That looked like a wild one, and you showed some pretty darn good pace. How was it out there?
Yeah, came into this race, no expectations, just wanted to get more seat time for tomorrow. And, I impressed myself. First stage, I was struggling a lot with braking and just keeping the tires on me, but eventually kind of just watching what Dyson was doing in stage 2 and obviously flipping it, getting track position, that helped a ton. I was surprised nobody else did that at the end of stage 2, but hey, I'll take it. I got some good track position, and I found something somewhere, I guess, but or Dyson was just going easy on me, I don't know, but I felt like I was keeping up with him, and that's a win in my book. He is so fast on these road courses and really anywhere. And just this track is so much fun. I had a great time with these guys tonight.
Yeah, it looked like a fun time out there on track, seeing some fantastic battles throughout. And you found yourself at the epicenter of a decent amount of it with yourself and Dyson. You brought up a good point, though, talking about the tires. I want to ask you about that. We saw that the track temperatures were pretty moderate, high 80s even by the end of the race. So was it really difficult just keeping the tires beneath you? Because we were under the impression that the tires were maybe a little bit easier to try and manage here in this race.
In terms of time, I would say that they were pretty easy. There wasn't too much fall off, as you could see. I was on 20 lap old tires, and I was able to get a second place finish. So the fall off wasn't something you had to manage. It was making sure you didn't overheat them, because that could make them very slippery. I had that in stage 1. If you overdrive them consistently for a full lap, you will be sliding all over the place until you get them cooled back down. So it was just trying to maintain a nice tidy line and not slide a lot. Make sure you short shift off the corner to keep it from spinning the tires. And I think that's what Dyson and them excel so much at, is just maintaining a good, steady pace while also keeping the tires cool. So definitely some stuff to work on for tomorrow, but feeling a whole lot more confident.
Yeah, I want to ask you about the FLCC tomorrow night. Of course, you and Andrew are going to be racing in that. So what are your thoughts heading off there next time in about 24 hours time?
Feeling confident, yeah, like I said, but that's a whole different race car. I mean, completely different. So it's not going to transfer over completely, but I always feel like I like to think I contend on these road courses with the faster guys. Maybe not win it, but looking for a solid top 5 finish tomorrow if I can get it. But hopefully that Black Flag Motorsports crew, thanks to all those guys. Hopefully we got some good speed there tomorrow. I also want to shout out everybody who puts this thing on, all my family for watching. And Casey, Daniel, and them for being in chat with me tonight. Casey got himself a good finish, too, on that staying out strategy. So props to him on that.
Yeah, well, Lucas, thank you for joining us here in the booth, man. Well done on the P2, and we'll see you back out there on the exact same racetrack in less than 24 hours' time when the FLCC rocks up to Coda.
Absolutely. Thank you, guys.
Thank you very much. That right there was Lucas Hoytsma, P2 at the end of this race. And Kirk, I want you to have a chat with a man who had a pretty wild night himself with a slightly banged up race car for the end, but still a podium. It's Bryson Exenball, our P3 finisher.
Hey, Bryson, Kirk up here in the booth. Got a copy?
Yep, I got you.
All right, man. Tell you what, you had quite a top 5 day if I've ever seen one. Had a good shot there at the end, but Hoytsma got away. Tell me, how'd your day go? How do you feel about it? Did you have fun? And also, is there anything that you wish you could have done differently in any way?
Yeah, I felt like I accomplished all the goals I set into this race as soon as I saw that Andrew Dyson had joined the server. I knew that we were all racing for second, so I decided,
Yep.
you know what, top 5 is good enough for me. I ran top 5 basically the whole race. I had one little mistake there. I tried to see if I could lead a lap when Dyson was behind me at the start of stage 2, and I about killed us all in the top 3, but we all survived and we all finished 1, 2, 3.
Yeah, I gotta say, man, I enjoy that little battle there at the end. What did you think about that move he pulled on you whenever Dyson got to you in that little left-hander, right-hander combo?
Yeah, I knew with his fresher tires and how much better really he is at road courses, I knew I wasn't gonna be able to hold him off for very long. I thought I might be able to hold him off until after the stadium section, but as soon as he went for the move, I'm like, oh, he knows he can complete this. He knows he can do this. It's over. So I held him off for a couple corners really, but he made a move where I didn't think he'd be able to, and just completely cleared me, and there was nothing to do after that.
Yeah, it kind of surprised me on that move too. I'll be honest with you, but we all know that you're one of the best on oval tracks for sure. But you also have this road racing prowess, a little bit of that there here, getting the top 3. I know you're going to go for another championship this season. This format's going to benefit you heavily. Last year was kind of BS, kind of what happened to you. Do you think going into this race here, you had any of that on your mind, or you thinking about the end of the year at all in terms of championships, or are you just focusing on having a lot of fun race by race?
I think tonight I definitely thought a little bit about where this would put me in like regular season, getting the stage points, choosing not to flip the stage. Like if I flip the stage with Lucas, maybe I finish in front of him, maybe I'm running in front of him for more of the race, but I'm giving up those points to do it, and I don't think that was really worth it for me because I didn't think it gave me a decent shot at the win. So I was happy to take my stage points, happy to just take my top 5 and move on to the next race, and that's exactly what we've done.
Well, man, I got to say, I know you're going to be our race control here tomorrow. Is there anything you want to shout out or anything you want to say before we let you go here, Bryson? Good job on getting 3rd, by the way. I did want to reiterate that. It was awesome watching you.
Yep, thank you. It was a great night tonight for TCSP Team Conti Sim Performance. Great setups every week from Nick Ottinger in this car here. And I got to shout out to Adam Benefield's strategy here. He gets the strategy wrong once again, cost himself a top 3 in an interview.
Oh, yeah. I think we all really wish we could have heard that. That's for sure. I really thought he was going to have something for Dyson, but unfortunately just didn't get a shot to be able to do it. Got spun there in the last bit. But again, thank you so much for talking with us there, Bryson, and we'll hear from you tomorrow.
Thank you, guys. Hope to talk to you again next week.
Yeah, well, I'm sure we will. No doubt about it. We'll see you, Bryson, okay? All right, that was Bryson Hicksonball.
And that was our podium here at the end of this race. The Shortcut 250 at Circuit of the Americas, the first ever running of this event on that new shortcut layout, Kirk. It was absolutely fantastic. Final thoughts before we wrap things up.
Yeah, you know, at the end of the day, road coursing isn't always my cup of tea, but I can say from watching tonight, I mean, I got to see a lot of interesting storylines come out of nowhere. I didn't expect to see, when the cautions came out, I knew they were coming, but I didn't expect so many people to change strategies. And also the stage 2 caution really caused strategies to go different ways. Flipping the stage made it slightly entertaining for me, and the end of that race was really fun to watch, too. A lot of guys trying to get to the top 10. Altogether, it was one of the more bearable road course races I could say I've watched in a while. Just happy to be here, and it was fun to watch Friday Night Lights going at it again, and can't wait for next week. That's going to be a little bit better. We'll see how it goes.
Well, there's a part of me that was expecting right there for you to say that you're just here so you don't get fun, but a lot of great actions to look forward to here on Maconi Entertainment. Of course, the FLCC coming up tomorrow night here on the channel. And next week here in the Friday Night Lights series, you'll be able to catch the action from round number 4 when the series and drivers rock up to Phoenix. And of course, you'll be able to see these drivers show up here in 24 hours time. But far from the end of the action here on Maconi, gives you a very good reason to subscribe subscribe and hit that notification bell so you never miss out on any of the action. But as to this broadcast here tonight for round number 3 of the 2026 campaign in the Friday Night Lights series, that will do it. So for myself, Ron Mullins, Kirk Mills joining me in the broadcast booth, and Howie Burrows working on the cameras and the graphics and the virtual production hauler, I say thank you all so very much for tuning into the action here on Maconi Entertainment tonight, and we hope to see you all wherever it is in the not too distant future.